burns.
And we were sick as dogs. And now we got many of our staff, one by one, falling down.
Yes.
Yes, but there's only two standing, actually three standing this morning. The great Brian Bruno, who's the big boss man. Miss Robin, who just goes 24/7. The great Angel Martinez, and yours truly, Tony Bruno. When you have to go, and you have to go to the front lines, and you know this as a veteran, Angel, and good morning, by the way.
Morning.
You got to go and you got to do your thing. You got to do it, baby, as the great, what's his name, the coach of the Cowboys when he took over and won that last Super Bowl. Anyway, we're here. We're starting. Pete's going to join us a little later. He just wasn't feeling well last night. He was so smart. He felt so bad. He didn't even go to the party we went to last night. And that's the one thing, Angel, about the Super Bowl week. There's all kinds of parties. And, you know, Robin and I knew how the game worked, and it's not a game. Not a game. We're not talking about practice, man. We're talking about football, yo. Football.
We talking about practice.
No.
Not a game. Not a game.
No.
A game.
It was a game.
We're talking about.
No, we're talking about a game, which is coming up, and it's Friday.
What are we talking about?
I don't know what we're talking about. NBA trade deadline?
Practice, man.
Hall of Fame?
We're talking about practice.
No, we're talking about the Super Bowl. We're talking about the new Hall of Fame class that was announced.
Practice, man.
No, not practice. We've had enough practice. It's Friday. Today is the big finale.
Sure is.
And we got so much stuff to talk about. I may have to stay on the air for 12 hours today just to get it in.
That's what we do. A marathon. 6 to 6.
Tony, you might have to stay on the air just because everybody's down and out.
Exactly. I mean, I'm the oldest guy in the entire crew. And I'm the guy here who went out to a party. And then this is not a sacrifice. I wanted to make sure the guys we could get to at least one party, right? And we had the Jaws cigar party last night. And I figure I don't want to go into a smoke-filled room.
Right.
People were in, and it's a great party, and we love it. But then Michael Irvin had a party, and our good friend Bonnie Jill Laughlin was in charge of it. So she was handing us passes, and we wanted to make everybody on the crew feel good. So we got a bunch of passes, and then we only had a couple of VIP passes, because as you saw, Angel, you came by there for a little while, and the VIP passes were in a very small room.
Yeah.
But when you were there weren't many people. Then people started coming in. By the time it got to around 10:30 at night, you couldn't move in that room. Because then all the players who were at the NFL honors and other parties show up at this party. Because the thing about Vegas, they didn't even open the doors for this event until 9 p.m., which is midnight East Coast time.
Yep.
So you got to be prepared for that. And 23 years ago, when Andrew Siciliano and I were rolling on the West Coast in the Super Bowl parties, you know, I was 23 years younger. So let's see, if I'm 71, Robin, I need some early math. Now, so 23 years away from 71. And I got to play a little Final Jeopardy.
48.
Well, you're supposed to take time so I can play the
Oh,
Jeopardy.
sorry.
Did you use your calculator?
I did. It's too early in the morning for math.
It's
What
never,
the hell are you thinking?
Math is something I never want to deal with, let alone the time of the morning. And by the way, it's only 6 o'clock here. It's 9 o'clock. So I don't want people to think, oh, man, listen to these guys. They're complaining about the time. No, I'm not complaining. But the problem was we wanted to wait for Michael Irvin to show up. It was his party. And then what happened? It got to be 10, 10:30, 11. All these MMA guys, UFC guys are coming in. I think Paulie Shore comes walking in. So then all the celebrities start walking in, and they come in, and it got too crowded. And we finally said, but Robin was doing even more work. So doing this today, so Bonnie Jill gave Robin her all-access pass because there were people trying to get in the door that didn't have passes or didn't have credentials. So we went through a system of, instead of, and then we each got a drink. So we went to the bar in the VIP, and even Brian Bruno went in there, and we ordered 2 drinks. It was the worst vodka cran ever because there was no vodka in it.
No.
Just cran?
And the cranberry juice is not real. It's that fake dry stuff that they mix. So it was the worst vodka cran because basically it was vodka, bad vodka syrup juice, and no vodka. Robin got a what? What did you get, Robin?
A Bombay Sapphire and soda.
The closest Bombay was in India.
Yes,
you would have to go to India to find Bombay because there was no Bombay gin in that drink either.
There was just soda. And
so we're in the VIP. And again, I'm not looking for free stuff. But we're in a VIP, and you go to the bar, and they say, hey, $38. So we had some of our guys from the Bleacher brothers who were bitching about having to pay for drinks. So then I went up, and we had to pay for drinks. So I don't want people to think that I get special treatment. Now, we got in the VIP because we're invited in the VIP, and Bonnie Jill was very gracious enough to get us a couple because we couldn't get 50 people in the VIP. That's not the way it works. People are paying like $1,500 just to get into these parties. So bottom line is we had a good time, but it wasn't a great party, because people were complaining. Everybody was upset. It was cold outside.
Well, it was cold.
It was cold outside.
That was the biggest deal, was that outside.
And all these women wearing virtually nothing. I don't know.
Virtually? I don't think, it was less than virtually.
And again,
it was less than virtually.
So I think the camel was more covered up.
It was billed as the Babes in Toyland.
That was actually the coolest thing.
That's the theme.
Meeting Moses.
Yeah.
Moses the camel.
I didn't even get a chance to go up close
you
to
didn't
Moses.
Go?
I was standing there watching him, but there was a long line. And I don't want to wait in line for a camel.
I have a history with camels.
I won't walk a mile for a camel. Remember that? That's what they said back in the day in the cigarette. I'd walk a mile for a camel.
Yeah.
I have a history with camels. Went to Morocco, got to ride on camels, and every camel that was there was nasty. I had one camel that actually spit at me, and it was splooged all over the front of my shirt.
On, Robin, this is too early for this.
It was gross, and so I was concerned. I'm like, there's no place to do laundry. I really don't want to have to take a shower tonight. But when I was guaranteed that this camel was incredibly sweet and would not do that. And sure enough, Moses was the sweetest thing. Every single person that he came up to him, he would go over and smell and see if you had any treats for him. He was adorable. I would have taken him home.
It was. Well, he had beautiful hair.
He did have beautiful hair.
But the best picture of the night taken by Chef Tom of the Bleacher Brothers. So he's up there, and A.J. Johnson went up there, and you can go in and get a picture with the camel.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you guys did. See, I didn't go in there. I figured everybody get their picture. I love animals, but I'm just going to let everybody try because some people were upset that they weren't in the VIP, and then we had to calm their tits, so to speak, as we like to say. And then I'm like, how am I going to have fun here? People are complaining. And let me be the guy who complains. That's my job. That's what I do professionally. So anyway, we got to see the camel. The women came in, and then the best Chef Tom gets his camera out, and he takes a picture of the foot of the camel.
The foot?
What?
You know why?
Oh, camel toe.
That was the first camel toe sight of the night. I mean, there was a lot of big boobs, and there were bulging boobs and boobs and boobs and butts everywhere. And these women were paid to be there because when you put on a party like that and you're calling it Babes in Toyland, you have to have beautiful women show up. That's how you sell tickets to these events. And then they had a lot of athletes after the NFL honors, which we'll get to in a minute. I just wanted to wrap the party night up. And I know you didn't have a good time. And I feel guilty. I feel bad when people don't have a good time because I get to go to these every year, but I don't go to all these parties. You have to pick and choose. But because it was Michael Irvin's party, and I haven't seen him since last year, I said, you know what, we should go. So they gave us all these extra tickets, and then when we got there, everybody thought they were going to be in the VIP. And then it was like, we can't all be in the VIP because nobody's here yet, and we half filled it up in the upper deck where they have the bottle service, which didn't come out, by the way, till 11 o'clock. By then, I was saying, screw it, I don't even need a drink anymore. I need to go home and go to bed. So Robin and I left. We got in the cab with the great Brian Bruno, and we got back. And by the time Robin and I went upstairs to crash and burn, I realized I had left my briefcase in the store where I went to exchange her shiny shoes. So I don't have my briefcase. But I got her shoes at least.
Yeah.
And she was happy. All I had to do was make Robin partially happy last night. So we get back, and I look at the clock, and it was 10:30 Eastern. It was 12:30 Pacific time. So what is 12:30 Pacific time?
Eastern time? 2:30.
3:30.
3:30 a.m.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's 12:30. That's right.
So 12:30, we get in bed. And then I said, Robin, we go to sleep right now, we can get 3.5 hours sleep. Because Robin set the alarm for 5 a.m.
No, I said it for 4:30.
And I'm figuring, okay, if we go to sleep now, it's 12:30. How many hours will we get? 12:30 to
4 hours of sleep.
4 hours of sleep if we fell asleep at 12:30.
Right.
But we didn't, of course, because you can't just fall asleep. Especially seeing all those boobs and things. And I've seen boobs before. That didn't keep me up.
The boobs kept you up.
No, the boobs brought me down. Because I'm saying, why? Why do you have to make them that big?
Right.
Why do you have? And again, I felt bad for the women because it was cold outside and they were wearing all this skimpy clothing because they were paid to be there. Because that's how you sell tickets to Super Bowl parties. So there were a lot of parties last night to go to. There was the Madden Bowl, which they don't invite me to anymore because the people now who are there don't know who I am and don't care. So I don't go to that anymore. And then there was the Ron Jaworski cigar party, and those are usually good. But everybody's throat's hurting. You know, we've been talking a lot, so I didn't want to go inhale cigar smoke all night. So I made the decision because we had tickets, let's everybody go. And then we all went, and then it became, it wasn't a horrible party, but it wasn't a great party. But hopefully the people that went enjoyed it and paid money. God bless you, but probably a mistake because today is our big finale, Angel.
Sure
and the
is.
big finale means that we will go all the way. We're going the distance. We're going for speed. Who did that song? You remember that?
I sure do, but why can't I remember the name of the band?
He's going for distance. It was like, what was the group? Now it's bugging me.
Yeah,
He's
now-
going the distance. It's a terrible song.
It's also
He's going the distance.
Plus, you figured the name of the band.
Cake.
Cake. That's right. Love cake. Too much cake this week, because even though we're walking 1,000 miles, and Brian said yesterday, he did his steps. He did like 8 miles yesterday. And then when he said 8 miles, all of a sudden, you know who showed up?
That'd be Eminem.
Eminem shows up. You mentioned 8 Mile, he shows up. So give me a little cake, Robin. You were just playing it, and then you crank it up.
I was going to.
This is what we're doing today. This is the theme of the day. Can we go the distance? It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
That's right. But the one thing I did like, though, so we when we got in there originally into the VIP party, so we stepped out to go see the camel. So we walk out. Of course, they put the ropes back up. Miss Robin, myself, and Debbie, we walk back up, and the guy says, I can't let you in. You don't have a bracelet.
Yeah.
So Miss Robin almost had to pull out, do you know who I am? But the guy was like, hold on for a second. So now we're trying to wave to Bonnie to let us in. Finally, about 2 minutes later, the guy ended up letting us in there, and then that's when they came out with all the VIP bracelets so we can kind of get in and out. But, a lot of folks.
Give me a little cake. Crank it up, Robin. I need something to get me going now. We're just starting. I mean, half of our hosts are out for the count. Pete Sheppard wasn't feeling good. We have Play Action Reel from the Bleacher brothers. He's sick, right? A.J. Johnson was sick, but he went to the party, and then he was bitching a little bit at the beginning because he wasn't getting showered with all kinds of gifts and
Well, he
free
got
drink.
VIP.
He got VIP'd, but then he was bitching because they didn't give him free drinks. Nobody got free drinks unless you just wanted the
Isn't it
tequila
amazing,
breath.
though, that $1,500, if you had paid for that,
Yeah.
wasn't going to get you a free drink?
Yeah, that's insane.
No, they were handing out if you were outside, in the big part, which was the biggest part, the VIP was a small room that wasn't huge. But anyway, they were handing out drinks. And the people who were bitching about having to pay for drinks, which they didn't, they were getting handed free drinks, but they were tequila drinks. So that's what they were handing out. De Leon Tequila was the sponsor, and they were giving those out for free. But any other drink you had to pay for, $38. So that's the world we live in. I'm not going to bitch or complain about it. You go out, you try to make people happy, you try to have a good time. But Robin, did you take that song down?
I did, because if I leave it up when we have to edit it because of stupid...
Don't rip any of the media services.
No. Stupid YouTube, then they're going to cut that off.
That's one of the companies you shouldn't be
Tony,
ripping.
we have...
we have text coming in?
Yes. No, we have a
Phone call?
Phone call.
Robin, do you know the difference between a text? I know we haven't had much sleep, but I think even at this
Don't
juncture.
ask me right now.
Wait a minute, Robin.
This thing is blinking in front of me. Whatever
we
it
got
is,
a long
please
day
answer
ahead
it.
of us. We got a long. And by the way, when we're done later this afternoon, which would be tonight in the East Coast, then the real job starts of breaking the set down, packing it all up, and lugging it.
Can you not remind me of the additional work we're going to have to do?
I want to inspire you
yet?
because we have to. You have to have that
That's
marathon.
not inspiring.
The marathon man. Is it safe?
Rick, who is on the line right now, Rick Marquez out of Tampa. Is this inspiring for you?
I know Rick. Hey, Rick, good morning.
How are you, Tony?
How you feeling, man? You good?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty better than Pete, I guess. I hope he gets better before he has to go home.
Well, we're going home tomorrow, so he better be better. We're gonna have to get a wheelchair and bring him on the plane. Then we'll be bored earlier.
That's
like
true.
Pete's in a wheelchair.
Yep.
You know, we'll be able to get on board in first class.
If it's any consolation, you'll be coming back to 80-degree weather and sunshine.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful.
Man, I need it. I need it bad.
Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know I've been watching all week. On my way to work, I've been listening. Any chance I had between flights that I was working, this was incredible. You guys, you kept me guessing who was going to be next. Watching Miss Robin do everything that she's done, she's incredible.
Yes, she
and
is.
Tony, you did a hell of a job. Angel, amazing.
Thank you.
No, Angel, to me, Angel's been, of all the on-air talent, Angel's been up every morning early, here early, and always ready to step in because he can do it, because he can sit down with Pete, he can sit down with me, he can sit down. And meanwhile, now you have, who's the other guy that's not, well, Pete's sick. So, you know, if somebody can't talk and they're throwing up, I don't want them on the set because I have a new laptop here, and I don't want vomit all over my laptop.
We don't want them anywhere.
These are all
near
new
us.
computers, and I can't have Pete vomiting on my laptop or his. So anyway, Rick, it's been fun. And you said, you know, you didn't know who was coming up next. Guess what? We didn't know many times also, but we did have guests lined up. And then it becomes like, you know, you're waiting, and you're at the runway, and you're trying to figure out who's next in line and who's next to take off. So the fun part of doing this is that, you know, I know there'll be people here that I've seen before because it happens every year. But then people walk in and you see them, especially earlier in the week when there's nobody here. Now it's Friday. Today is going to be a madhouse.
Yeah.
And it's pretty quiet here. So nobody works early in the morning. There's no West Coast shows here. And you would think because it's morning drive, it's 6 o'clock, you know, on the West Coast, and you would think a lot of radio stations would be cranking up their programming, and they're not.
Nothing. There's nothing here.
There's a show from Dallas, there's one from San Francisco, and maybe a couple of other ones. But for the most part, we're the only East Coast-based show here. But the network is not about East Coast or West Coast, because that's gang wars and rap wars, and we don't want to get into that shit.
No,
you know what I mean? So anyway, we've been having fun, and you know, yesterday to get some of the great surprises yesterday because we didn't know he was going to be here. You know, who sat down with us? One of the all-time greats, Mr. Las Vegas.
Yep. Wayne Newton.
The great Wayne Newton was sitting 3 feet away from me. You know, Patrick from SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
voice, Bill Fagabaki, he was here. So you meet a lot of people that you don't expect to see. I was hoping that we would see Wayne Newton, and I was shocked that he was here. And then he sat down with us. So that's the fun part. And everybody says, you're not talking about the game enough. You can't talk about the game 24/7. But today, you know, we'll start getting predictions. Pete will make his pick. Even if he can't do it, we'll do it virtually. And that's what it's all about. But we appreciate everybody listening. You know, we had very few glitches this week, which is awesome, because that's the key when you're doing this. You know, when you have people all over the country and you have to remote them in, and then you just hope it works. And for the most part, everything's gone really, really well. And we appreciate you and all the other great people who are absolutely doing a great job supporting this show. You know, we're not asking for your money. We're not asking you to send us stuff, although Robin has the Amazon wish list. But we're just here because we're trying to build the Tony Bruno Sports Network into something you can rely on for the fun. You know, you can get sports talk anywhere, and we give you that. We give you all the – nobody does it better in the morning than Pete when he runs down everything. And, yes, I'm going to get to running down everything. But, this is my first solo morning. Not solo, but I knew Angel would be here. I knew Brian Bruno. I knew Robin would be here. But luckily we bought a Krispy Kreme before we went to bed. It was open. The only thing open in the Mandalay Bay. And we got 4 bear claws. Yeah. And I knew there wouldn't be food here. So I knew if I'm going to come in here. And at that time, I didn't even know Pete wasn't coming in.
I know.
So I wanted to bring food.
Speaking of Pete, he's on the other line.
Oh, is Pete there?
So
can we bring him in? Can you?
can I conference with Rick?
Yeah, that's it. Let's conference him because I think he
Actually, you know what? He's not speaking very loudly. So, Rick, we appreciate you
No, I
calling
did
in.
all the talking. Anything else you want to say before I let you go, Rick?
Just wanted to wish you guys a safe trip home.
Now, who do you like for Sunday?
I like Kansas City.
Everybody's going with the Chiefs that we've spoken to. Everybody.
Exactly right.
It's the idea of Mahomes' experience versus Purdy.
Yeah, and that's probably the number one reason why most of the money is like 75% of the people who bet. I don't mean the big money people. I mean the average, people will bet on the Super Bowl, be their only bet of the year. People will go to parties, they'll do little block pools and stuff. So everybody likes to have it.
As much as I like Mahomes, I'm hoping for the Niners.
So am I.
I really want the Niners.
Only because Ryan likes the Chiefs, and so I go against whatever he says.
Wait a minute, hey Rick, you and Angel have some sort of a ugly blood feud going on here?
No, Ryan, not Rick.
I mean Rick. Oh, I thought you said you had a
not
beef with
me.
Rick.
No.
Because Rick's in Tampa, and you're in Tampa. I thought maybe you knew him and you guys had bad blood.
No, I know Rick, but he's a Southwest guy, Southwest Airlines. Rick and I have been great friends for, 5 years now?
No, Rick is great, and we love the people in Tampa. But, Rick, we appreciate it, man. How many flights today?
I have no idea. I'm still at home. I'll be getting ready in about 20 minutes for work.
Well, at least you got to sleep in a little bit, you know what I mean? And plus, it's already 9:25 there in the morning, so I don't envy you. I mean, 9:25 is a good time to wake up.
Sure is.
I'd like to do that one day, but we'll do it next week when we get back. Rick, have a great day, great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Take care. See
There
you.
he is. Now let's go to. It says Weenie Pete on there.
I know.
Who wrote that?
I have no idea.
Who wrote Weenie Pete on there?
Somebody who must have answered the phone at some point put Pete in the system as Weenie Pete.
Do we have that person here by any chance?
No.
The phone screener?
No, it was already up there.
Brian didn't put that. He's not screening the calls?
I answered the call and was already up there. It saves the phone calls.
Okay, I don't want people to think that I'm calling him Weenie Pete, but Weenie Pete, as it's listed, let's go to Weenie Pete on the line. Not Rodney Pete.
Yeah.
Not repeat. It's
Exactly.
Pete Sheppard. Pete, good morning. How you feeling, man?
Not well.
Ooh.
That sounds rough.
wow,
Pete,
man.
You know, it started. It got through the Wayne Newton and Chef Andrew Zimmer yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin saw me when I got there. I was not feeling well then,
No.
but I tried
Can I
to
blame
tough it out.
Brian,
I don't
Bruno?
want to
Can
get
I blame
anybody else.
Brian? Can I blame him?
No, he's still here and in tip-top shape, so it can't be him.
Yeah, well, we had a piece of pizza together last night before we went to your party, and
Did that piece of pizza
yacked
make another
that up.
appearance
I
later
yacked
on that night?
I yacked that up pretty good.
Well, I feel bad for you, man.
I never get nauseous. I never get nauseous, so it was weird because I just feel like somebody dropped an anvil on my head. I definitely got a fever. This sucks. I hate not being there. I'm so sorry.
That's all right, Pete. You can't. You can't talk and you throw up. That's not a good combination. Doing a high-powered morning show like you do, So I'm going to go through all the stuff that you do every morning since it's your show. But I just want you to feel better, man, because we got to get up early. We got to break this down tomorrow morning. We're heading back to the west side of Florida. We're here on the
West
west.
side?
I'm on the same flight with you.
Exactly.
So's Brian.
Yeah.
By the
Although
way,
I don't
this
think
one
anybody's
thing-
going to want to sit next to
I
you.
want to give you this one little note as we start the day. Legendary sports bettor Billy Walters, we saw him here yesterday, and everybody knows, if you're a gambler, you know who Billy Walters is, right? He's probably the most successful gambler in history. So he told Ben Fawkes, you know who Ben Fawkes is, right, Pete? He's a sports betting free agent, former ESPN, VSiN Live, based in Vegas. He's a Minnesota guy. He says that Billy Walters yesterday is going to make a small bet on the Chiefs on the Super Bowl of $500,000 to $1 million. He thinks the line is 4 points off. So there you have it. When you talk about the big money guys that put the briefcases down, Billy Walters, It's a little small bet between $500,000 and $1 million, and he thinks that the points are 4 points off. Now, you obviously are a student of the gambling game. You look at the lines and you say that line's wrong. They got it wrong in Vegas. You agree with Billy Walters?
Well, I told you I did one bet, and I'll do some prop bets tomorrow when we get home or early Sunday. The only thing I have done is teased Kansas City 6-point teaser with the over. So I have Kansas City +8 and over 41.5, which I think seems pretty safe.
Well, we really so you need to rest, Pete. You need to rest. Take some Tylenol, take some whatever, some of the gummies that I had here. Do you have any of those? Maybe that'll make you feel better.
That might make them feel better.
Exactly.
I have no medication here right now. I'm going to have to go downstairs and get some. But Brian did, God bless him, he brought me a big Gatorade and water. Yeah, last night I had, at like 1:45, whatever it was. But how was your party?
It wasn't what I mean.
No.
I've gone to many of these things, but I think the fact that everybody was disappointed, and poor Robin, getting everybody in, and then people are angry because they couldn't get in the VIP because we didn't have 50 tickets to the VIP, and it was a small club inside, but it was outside at the pool, and all these women scantily clad, they had to soldier up, so to speak, because it was cold outside, and they weren't inside the room where everybody was.
Yep.
And so that's the thing about February. You had the pool was closed. I mean, there was water in it, but nobody's even dipping their toe in that water.
No.
That's how cold it is.
They had like these lounge chairs in the water, and I'm thinking to myself, nobody is going to
No, but
be
they're always there. They're fixed into the pool.
But I like how the lifeguard, I went right up to her and I said, by the way, is anybody going? She goes, no, just in case somebody falls in when they're drinking too much.
Exactly, yes, that's what it's about. Well, Pete, feel better, buddy. Hopefully we'll check in with you later on.
Yeah, and there's a thing called room service. They can bring you stuff. You call down to the concierge. They can actually...
Wait, they have room service?
Yes.
At the Luxor and
It's amazing. So call.
I
Don't
can't
go
get a
down.
clock. I asked 3 times for a clock. What makes you think they're going to bring me anything? I don't know.
Well, you can tell them that you're going to throw up all over their nice room unless they bring you something.
And they'll say, that's okay. You won't be the first this week. Pete, feel better, buddy. And I'm sure everybody out there listening is rooting for you. When I went to bed last night, I thought, okay, I'm going to get up at 6 o'clock. But now I know. When duty calls, you got to jump up and be ready to go despite the lack of sleep. So I'm not going to use sleep as an excuse. You see it, I'm up and running. Angel's up and running. We got a lot to get over. The Hall of Fame, new Hall of Fame inductees or enshrinees. I guess they're.
Rodney Harrison got screwed.
Yes, he did. I was shocked. But he'll get in. They put 6 people in. Baseball puts 1 person in, and then they think they've made a big deal. The NFL puts 6 people in. So you can't put 10 people in a year. But Rodney Harrison will get in. And we'll go over that, and also the honors pretty much went as we expected it to go last night here right in this building. So we got a lot to talk about. We have hockey, we got football news, we got NBA news, all the trades, and we'll run it all down, Pete.
Yeah, the only thing good that happened yesterday, finally I hit a 3-team parlay. Bruins -135, Minnesota and Milwaukee over 225.5, and Arizona -5, which went to triple overtime, and they won by 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a good, because I haven't even placed a bet since like last Sunday when we were watching Saturday, we were watching the NHL All-Star game, and then Sunday we were watching the Pro Bowl, and that's the only bets I placed, and I lost 2, and they were NBA bets. And I got to tell everybody, don't bet on the NBA. Because the lines are always wrong, and when you see the 11.5s and the 12s, the only game, Pete, I told you that I loved, but we couldn't get there in time to bet it, was your St. John Redmen. I'm still going to call them the Redmen. St. John's absolute biblical beatdown. And who was it they were playing? Oh, that was DePaul. DePaul, the absolute
22-point favorites.
Yeah, 22-point favorites, and that's
one
of the.
28.
They won by 28. I mean, it was a no-brainer. And you're sitting there, and you worry about the backdoor cover, but we knew watching Rick Pitino getting ready to go in the back room and get himself a little linguine, some lasagna, maybe a little calamari, and he went in there and he got it done. Pete, That was the only game that I would have picked, but unfortunately, when you realize you're sitting here and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the games are all starting, and then you're like, damn, I can't get a damn bet in now unless I want to bet the late games. So, Pete, feel better, man. Get some rest. Get some product. Whatever you need, we'll have it sent to you. Not girls direct to your room, though. No. We can't handle that. That's not on the expense account.
Better, Pete.
Brian says he will not pay for girls sent to your room.
Absolutely not, Pete.
Although
I will say this: Angel is the man. Is really, he's a special guy. I am so beyond impressed with him, and that's why, Angel, the rest of the day, you're in charge.
Yes, he is.
Thank you.
You can count on him as the great Jefferson. Was that Jefferson Airplane or Jefferson Starship? You can count.
No, here's the
on
thing:
me.
if we keep dropping like flies, Angel might be the last man standing.
No, I'm going the distance. We already played cake. And by the way, Paige Spiranak, I know you know who she is, Pete. Remember, she was the golfer, the professional golfer who now is making more money by being a model. Did you see what she posted this morning or yesterday? She writes, in Vegas, and hear me out, how about 2? So instead of the sphere, she has 2 spheres with the bras on top, on covering her nipples, and that's her spheres. That's why she's a genius, and that's why she has a gazillion followers.
Well, we saw many spheres last night.
Yes, there were. Yes, there were.
A lot.
She doesn't even have. She has 979 followers. How does she not have 1 million followers yet?
She's getting there, though.
But she was a great golfer, but she's also smoking hot. Absolutely.
There's the spheres.
Yes, there's the 2 spheres.
And Pete, thank you.
Go back to bed now and take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. By the way, Pete, since I can't look anything up, what time is our flight tomorrow? What time do we have to be there? What time does flight leave or load and all that other stuff?
I think the flight is at noon.
Yeah.
That's
Noon.
our flight, too.
12:30.
Yeah. Well, that's better than like a 7 a.m. takeoff. That means we just basically we don't even sleep. We just go right to the airport from here.
No, but if we're all sick,
Less
we're going to
than
end up
5
having to
hours.
charter a medical flight.
That's right. Can we get a medevac to get us there?
You know what's happening? This network is turning into Squid Games. Like it's the last person surviving.
Oh, no.
Is that what happened at Squid Games? I thought at Squid Games end when you get the calamari brought to your table. You know, with the lemon and the red sauce. That's how I want my Squid Game to end. Because I didn't watch Squid Game. I realized it wasn't about food. Did you think it was about food initially, Pete?
No, and it was disturbing. I couldn't get through the series.
Pretty much like these shows this week. People are like, I can't get through this
That's
show.
what I mean.
But we're going to get through it, Pete. I'm going to, what do you call it, soldier up. And the great,
Soldier on?
No, it's Soldier Up, isn't it? Or Soldier On? What is it?
Soldier On.
Whatever it is, I'm going to do it, even though I'm not a soldier. But the great Angel Martinez was, and thank you for his service. Pete, relax.
Yes,
Go to bed.
We'll talk to you later, man.
Okay.
Yes, buddy.
Take no aspirins
thanks.
and
Have a
don't
good
call
one.
me tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And get some facts and come back and see me, as the great Jim Calhoun once said.
Get some facts and come back and see me.
Exactly. So should we take a break or we get right to the sports, Robin? I'm afraid if I take a break, I'll go and sit down and fall asleep on one of those chairs. But no, you can see it. I'm ready to go.
I know.
I had my coffee. I had my apple fritter.
Well, before we go to break,
Yes.
let me read a few texts from last night that I wasn't able to get to. What up, Brunos? Great hearing y'all. Didn't have the new number till now. Let's go. Have fun. Chad Everett in Bowmanstown.
We love Chad Everett.
And this is a reminder that if you are listening and you haven't had the number till now, that number to call and text is 352-234-8669. That's 352-234-TONY.
By the way, coming up, still ahead,
and
Rick Horrow is going to join us.
And
you
know what?
Burke Kreischer. What else?
We have the fabulous Luigi who has been trying to get through. We're going to go to break. So
Let's blow through the break.
What?
We don't need the break. I say when
happened?
we break.
Luigi. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Luigi, good morning. I'm not going to put Luigi on hold.
Okay.
Luigi's part of the family. Luigi, he would have hung last night at the party, and he would have been able to get up like we did with just 3.5 hours sleep. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you, Tiger. Thank you, Tiger Woods, the great line at that press conference after all the stuff happened with the 9-iron, and Was it a wedge?
I've been on hold. I've been on hold so long. Joe Quillen walked to Vegas. From That's how long I've been on hold. And I heard the guest. I was getting bumped for it. I'm like, I got to be honest. I could have did better. I'm not going to lie to you. But that's all right. All right. Yeah, listen. Because while I've been on, I want to say that your interns are some of the nicest people in the world.
They were the heroes of the week. Now, obviously, Angel's a guy who works 24/7. We love all of our
Well, he's
staff.
not one of the interns, but the interns
I said to
from
Robin,
UNLV have been unbelievable.
Unsung heroes of the week.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we can't get interns in Southwest Florida where there's like 16 colleges right around the corner from us. But here, Dave Benz, to his credit, Dave Benz went through UNLV and said we need a couple of interns, and we had Bisa and we had Jess, and they were absolutely killing it every day.
When Dave said he was going to do it at first, I'm in my head thinking, oh man, I can't spend time on training anybody. I can't spend time explaining stuff.
Right.
This is going to be more work for me. But I thought, you know what? Okay, wait. It's good experience for them. I'm all about, supporting young people, trying to make it in the business. So I said, okay, I'll do it. Oh my gosh, I was so wrong. These two, I didn't have to tell them anything. I didn't have to.
Just once.
Just one. They were just amazing.
Well, I was luckily for you, Robin. I was on hold long enough to train these two people properly on how to do everything that needed to get done. I mean, they were cutting audio. They were getting guests. They knew exactly how to tell you like a Kalamad nice.
No, I'm serious. I'm going to have to call ChatGPT and put together the greatest letter of commendation ever.
Seriously.
Right? That's what we do now. We
call ChatGPT.
I know them personally.
Alexa,
I know them.
say something nice.
hey, ChatGPT, write something really nice about Bisa and, of course, the great Jessica.
You know what? Now that Tony knows about ChatGPT, that's how he's going to write his wedding vows.
Exactly, yeah.
No, here's the thing, ready? Like, the one, I forget which one it was, but she came back on after like 40 minutes of holding. I'm like, this will probably go to like close to the top of the hour. They'll take photos, come back, right? And then they'll go back to phone call. No big deal, right? So about 47 minutes in, right? I'm sitting on 42 in traffic. And this girl comes back on. She goes, hi, Luigi, I just wanted to see how you were doing, if you still wanted to hold them. Like, is this a wellness check? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I know. We're going to have the intern call Pete. We're going to have the interns call Pete every hour to make sure he's okay and see if he needs anything.
She goes, are you sure? I said, I'm Italian. It's a matter of principle.
Well, you've been to these things, man. You see how it goes.
No, they're great. No, they're listen, I got it. When I called back the other day just to say what's up or whatever, just because you guys have been doing a great job. I called and I asked, said, hey, it's 5. Do you guys have anybody coming up at the top of the hour? And Robin said, we have Muhammad Ali's grandson coming. I said, all right, no problem, guys. I'll talk to you later. Like, all right, you kind of already know to ask, like, hey, what do you got coming up? And you also know that when you're doing photo ops and things like that at the end of an interview, people walk by immediately, and it's just like, hey, you want to pop on? You want to pop on? You want to pop on? So getting on and being able to talk to a host when you're calling to a show during Radio Row during Super Bowl week it's tough. Sometimes it's impossible, and that's the way it happens. So
as someone once said, Luigi, and I'm glad you mentioned that.
What's that?
Someone once said,
sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Exactly right.
That's the way it is, man. I mean, that's what God said when he looked down upon us. All these people praying, sending thoughts and prayers, and he's looking down going, hey, sometimes they be good, sometimes they be shit.
Luigi,
I'm going
to have to put you down as the first guest of our last day.
Yes.
You're not on the guest sheet, but you got this party started with Pete, of course, and Rick Marcus in Tampa. But as far as bringing content to the table, you brought the first.
Well, I was just trying to get in. Listen, man, I was basically chiming in on everything that you guys were saying while you were on the panel talking to guests, and I was basically doing one-liners the entire. I was entertaining myself. I was fine on hold.
Did you record it? We can play it back later. We can take a couple of days.
We can mix it in.
Yeah. Well, Luigi, we love you, man.
I was doing the whole thing. I was hitting drops, playing music.
You're stir crazy, man. You've gone stir crazy.
Yeah, I'm painting like a loon over here. I don't know what's going on, man. It's been a I don't know, an out of control 72 hours. But I know I wanted to call him because I wanted to get in before Harlan. Did you got Kevin Harlan coming on later?
It was well, I'm sure we'll have Harlan.
Yeah, he won't be till near the end when I'm virtually scraped
that's what
up
I'm saying.
off the
I wanted to get in before Kevin did, so that's it.
But
you did.
Good call coming in early.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, thanks, man. We missed you. You know what it's like going to these parties and trying to get up early and cranking it. But that's what you got to do. You know, this is what makes you the king of Radio Row. When you can do this every single year, show up no matter what.
Oh, speaking of which, you need to put your crown back out.
Yeah, let me get the crown. As I say,
thanks
the crown
to the
is
fabulous AJ Lopez sending this crown.
Yeah, I
has
saw
seen
that,
a lot.
man.
Did you see Rick Harrison wearing this crown yesterday? And I got him to try to appraise it.
Yeah, I was going to say, did he have a guy come down and look at it?
No, he couldn't get a guy because there was too many people around. But that was fun. Wayne Newton. I mean, yesterday was just completely.
Yeah, I saw the photo of Wayne Newton. I'm like, come on, dude, come on. I looked at it. If I would have been on Radio Row with you, with Tom, when he sat down, I'd have been like, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Jones.
And you could have said Tom Jones.
Listen, Wayne Newton looks. He's got to be 80.
He's 82.
He's 10 years older than me.
He's 82. He's very well preserved.
That's the king of Las Vegas right there.
No doubt about it. Right now, he's the frat pack. All those guys are gone. Tom Jones is still around, but he doesn't have his own room here. He's still at the Tropicana before they tear it down. So he's going to probably retire when they tear down the Tropicana across the street to build the A's ballpark.
They're going to tear him down at the same time.
Luis, thanks for checking in, man.
If it didn't happen.
Thanks for checking in, brother.
One thing I want to ask.
You have one more question? What's your question, by the way? As Larry King would say, what's the question?
The Michael Irvin party, how was it?
Well, it's like a typical party. The doors opened at 9.
Yeah, it didn't start until after we left to really get going, and we just couldn't hang until
those
midnight,
parties those parties don't stop till 8 in the morning. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No, hell no.
And so we knew we were like the first people there, and we're all going into the VIP. And Bonnie Jill there, she's all flustered because it's her party, and she's got to make sure everything's okay. But we were the first people there, and then then the red carpet. We didn't walk the red carpet. They had the camel though. The camel was the hit of the night. Yeah. They had a live camel there.
It was funny when you had Bonnie Jill, and I remember when we were in Minnesota, and she came on with us, and we were talking about Kyle Kuzma, right?
Yes.
At the time.
Yep.
And Larry Nance Jr., where they were with the Lakers. And me and Bonnie Jill were going back and forth for about a good 6-7 minutes. And Tony just goes out of nowhere. He goes, all right, it's my show. All right, you guys just stop. All right.
I have to do that to Robin a lot, but she doesn't start talking about Kyle Kuzma or the NBA trade deadline, which came and went.
Yeah, I was trying to hit, dude. Come on, man.
Hey, listen, man, everybody was. She's a beautiful woman. But the best thing about Bonnie Jill Laughlin is not that she's beautiful. I mean, she
knows her shit.
She knows everything, and everybody sees how strong she is. She's got a farm in Texas with horses and cows and everything, man. Donkeys. You fit right in there, Luigi. No, come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got a farm here. I got a farm here in Philly that's just littered with pigs. Stacy, Regina, Kelly, fucking. I'm kidding. I don't remember their names. I'm kidding. I don't remember.
Come on, man. All right, Luigi.
But listen, man, props to you guys. You guys have had a great time out there. Great shows.
Well, we haven't. It's not about having a great time. It's about having great shows.
Hey, Luigi. Did you see the picture with
Angel? What's up?
The highlight of the day was when Trey the Truth came, drops the $100K necklace.
No, $200K.
Was it 200?
It was a $200,000
something between 100,000, and he put it on me, Luigi. I don't know if you saw it. Now, that's the most expensive thing I had on my neck since my first wife. I mean, you know what I mean? And so when you talk about having expensive stuff around your neck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because for me, Angel, personally, the highlight of my weekend in Las Vegas would have been me in my hotel room with enough women in there that I thought I was in WrestleMania.
Oh, you know what they say.
That would have been the highlight.
Exactly right,
Goddamn
man.
right.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Right.
if there was a great flood last night at that party, we would have all had flotation devices
Yes.
nearby, ready to keep
Oh, yeah,
us
I
afloat,
saw.
baby.
And it wasn't just the
Yeah,
breasts. There were more butt implants
Oh, everything.
than I've
The
ever
lips.
seen anywhere.
I haven't seen that many duck lips since I was watching one of those old Donald Duck
Why
and his
do
family.
women do
What's with
that?
the duck lips,
I don't
man?
know.
They look so
Luigi,
stupid.
you into duck lips?
What's that?
These women with the duck lips now. Forget about the
Yeah,
boobs and the
I don't care. As long
butts.
as you don't talk, I don't care. It's fine. As long as you don't talk, I don't give a shit.
Well, Luigi,
Oh, my
I
God.
have one guy on the line who wants to say something for you before we go.
Luigi,
Here he
you
is.
might as well just get
There
your
he is.
things right now, pack it up in one of those boxes that they have, what they call the banker's box. Put the little lamp, put your books, and get the hell out of here.
God, I knew that was coming.
Yes,
Damn
you
right,
did.
man. Hey, Luigi.
Love you.
Love you, brother.
Lastly, and I love you too. But lastly, any Wheel of Fortune action?
I haven't sat down. I haven't put a dime in a slot
It's
machine.
an outrage.
I haven't sat down. I made 2 bets early in the week. I'm focused on the job. I can't get action in because it's 4 o'clock and the game's starting. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't bet anything. And these guys are all, yeah, AJ Jolly hit 9 NBA parlay. I said, good for you. Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I heard Steve on. I heard Steve on with you yesterday or the other day. Well, I'm sorry. No, it was yesterday. I heard Steve on with you.
The great Philly
didn't know who
Godfather.
I didn't know who. I don't ever call him the Philly Godfather. I'm sorry. I forgot who he took, and I don't know which way he was leaning because I haven't even made. I said I like Kansas City, but I didn't hear which way he was leaning towards the end of the game.
He was leaning toward Kansas City, but the thing that scares him is like when 75% of the money's on one side, you know, that's
bad.
where he's like, I don't know. Listen, could the 49ers win this game? Absolutely. So that's why it makes it interesting because everybody just assumes because of what the Chiefs did, you know, on the road in those 2 unbelievably tough places to play to get to the Super Bowl. Yeah, Baltimore, which was ordained and the best team. And so everybody thought Baltimore was going to win the AFC. Nobody thought, not that they didn't think Kansas City, but Kansas City's regular season was just average as opposed to their normal regular seasons. Yeah. But they cranked it up in the postseason. And now, you know, got Mahomes and Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, all the things and the adjustments they make in-game, I think that's why the people are saying, you know, 49ers are a good team, and if McCaffrey runs and they can keep controlling the clock, they got a way to win. So, I don't know. That's why it's called gambling.
Do you think... Wait, time out. Do you think by any... I don't know if Steve took this into consideration, but do you think it's any chance of the fact that 75% of the money coming in, which is the public money, I should say, the public money coming in on the Chiefs, has anything to do with the fact that you have so many more people betting now because Taylor Swift fans are betting?
Yeah, but not even that. It's recreational betting. You know, it's like horse racing. Like I don't go to the track and bet on horses, but I like the Triple Crown. I'll bet the Kentucky Derby, the Belmont, and the
we love that stuff.
And the Preakness. And that's so recreational. This is the biggest recreational betting event on earth. Well, maybe the World Cup stuff, but everybody bets. Whether it's at a block pool at a party or online now with all the sports books where you can bet. And that's why it's the biggest event because that's why the line's not moving that much. Tons of money going both ways, and that's what the bookies like.
Wait, Mike, how did Tony not just use his famous line? You know what happens? When I move...
You move.
Just like that.
Just like that. Luigi?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking. I'm going to have to move if I don't hit this goddamn parlay. So
me too, bro. I have not sat down. I don't remember the last time I sat down at any slot machine in any casino. Seriously.
This week has been way too crazy.
Whatever you do, you keep Robin in the bathroom. You leave her in there. You go play by yourself.
You're damn right. Because if I sit down and put a crisp $1,000 bill, because you know they have the mega slots, which are tied in all over the world. So it's like 10 million something right now, and it's you have to bet like maximum on every bet. So if it's a $1 machine, you got to bet 3 to be able to. So
to win the whole thing.
To win the mega. Because you know, if you only hit $1 on those things and you get the mega, you're not getting the mega. You have to have $3 max play each time you tap that thing. And when you tap that thing, you usually have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But you're not getting $10 million. You're not getting $10 million if you win the Mega Millions. You know what I mean?
I could see Tony winning $10 million on the Wheel of Fortune. He's like, I like to solve the puzzle. I fucking quit. I'm done.
Just like Pat
I'm done.
Sajak, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
Love you,
All right,
Luigi.
get out of here.
All right, brother. There he is,
Bye.
ladies and gentlemen. The
There.
great Luigi Curto checking in live from the city of brotherly shove. The great
Now
city of Philadelphia.
We have more. Coach Paul out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Good morning, gang. And this is Tim from North Carolina. I wasn't listening yesterday, but will the live stream be available at some point on iHeartRadio and TuneIn Radio?
That might be a minute.
That might be a minute.
Not a New York minute,
No,
though.
it's recording right now, and we are replaying them overnight, and we are going to continue replaying for some time probably. Because,
So if you missed anything this week,
yeah.
you'll be able to hear it over and over and over again, especially like the Wayne Newtons and all, Rick Harrison.
Awesome stuff.
Because they're not technically Super Bowl interviews, but they're, guys, people sitting down, men and women, fun stuff. Because I want to hear them again.
I
'cause
didn't get to hear anything yesterday because I was running around so crazy.
I was doing the interviews and I didn't get to hear anything. You know what I mean? It gets loud in here. It's really still quiet. I mean, look at this, Angel. It's still remarkably quiet.
It is.
And it's almost 7 o'clock in the morning here.
And it starts to ramp up like around 9 o'clock. We've already been up and running for 4.5 hours.
You're damn right, man. These people are soft. They're not weenie. They're not weenie Pete. Pete isn't soft. He's just a weenie, but he's not soft weenie. And if you have a soft weenie, I have Mr. Hims is going to come in here later on and give us some free product. And that's what it's all about.
By the way, Dean in Clearwater says a record 67.8 million U.S. adults are expected to wager over $23 billion on Sunday's game.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Well, we're off to a good start. I mean, that's the first 53-minute opening segment ever. Nobody does monologues like that.
Not at all.
Who goes on the air for 53 minutes and doesn't talk about sport? We mixed it in.
Yeah.
We mixed it in. It was a good mix.
There's a few seconds of sport, absolutely.
No, we covered it all. But we're going to give you all, if you missed anything last night, the Hall of Fame class has been announced, the NFL honors, so much going on. It's Friday. We're itching toward the big game, the Super Bowl. That's why we're here. Well, that's one of the reasons. We're here just to have fun. We're coming right back. Stick around. Tony Bruno with Pete Sheppard on the Pete Sheppard Show with the great Angel Martinez, Miss Robin, Brian Bruno, holding it down for you on Radio Row. Yo, we're coming right back.
Listening to Tony Bruno's Sports Network. Tony didn't invent sports radio. He perfected it.
We're running a little bit hot tonight. I can barely see the road from the heat coming on. Reach down between my legs, ease the seat back. She's running, I'm buying, right behind it, real me now. Got the feeling, but I was hearing, busy robbing me, no stopping now. Panama, Panama.
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
We are back. It's Metal House, Metal Shop, and all that other stuff. Hair Band Friday, because that's all Robin plays.
No, I just need something to wake me up.
I'm awake, Robin.
Oh.
Now, we got a lot to cover, too. In case you missed last night here, a lot of stuff going on. I saw Michael Irvin in the front row at the NFL Honors. So you know he was there, and then he had to go to a party, probably after party at the NFL Honors, and then came to his party. But by the time that happened, it was too late, so we went to bed. But he's going to be here this morning. Mm-hmm. Michael Irvin, scheduled to appear. So that's good. It's like 10:35 our time. So what time is that on the East Coast? 1:35 in the afternoon. So if you want to schedule your day around having Michael Irvin on the show, Lee Steinberg's going to join it. Bert Kreischer's coming up this morning, too. Bert Kreischer, not just a great comedian, but a friend of the show for way, way, way back in the day. So it'll be good to talk to him. And then we have, Rick Haro, Nick Lowry. You know who Nick Lowry is? He's been to more Super Bowls now than when he played, because Nick Lowry was a kicker, great, great player, and he's doing a lot of stuff. I think he could still kick now, Nick Lowry. He looks good, man. So we'll talk with him. We'll have a comedian, the great Craig Gass. Funny guy. He's there every year. He actually did an interview. He got what's his name to go with him. He got Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura to go to a media event and interview the real athletes. Because, you know, when they see celebrities like Bert Kreischer, you know, they're not going to say, "Where's your credential?" So Craig Gass is a great comedian.
They went and interviewed the Niners.
Yeah, and they were getting like one-on-ones. It wasn't like the media thing that you see at media night where there's 15,000 microphones sticking in and people yelling to get an answer. They had an exclusive interview, but he's got video. We may show that when he comes on later on, Craig Gass. Meanwhile, we had a lot of stuff last night.
There's one more that you're not. We have the GWOAT coming on.
The GWOAT?
No, GWOAT.
GWOAT?
Yeah.
You know
Who
what that
is the GWOAT? No.
The greatest wrestler of all time?
No, the GWOAT is a woman goat. GWOAT.
No.
The greatest woman of all time, Clarissa Shields. She is a boxing and MMA phenom.
She does both?
Well, she was a boxer, and now she's transferring over to MMA.
Just like yesterday, you know, Robin said, "Hey, we have Muhammad Ali's grandson. He's a fighter now." And I said, "Oh, okay, I didn't know he was a fighter." And then I came in, and he's an MMA guy. He's not a boxer. He started out as a college football player. Great story. We'll have that played back for you, too, in case you missed all of these interviews. You'll be hearing them right here on the Tony Bruno Sports Network. But last night, of course, the NFL Honors. And I'll say this, Angel, I wasn't surprised by any of the winners. And I think everybody can agree, because most of the times when there's award shows, you say, "Oh, that person got screwed. That person should have won it." But when you look at the NFL awards last night, you can't argue with any of them.
No.
For example, because we knew who the finalists were. We knew who Coach of the Year finalists were, the MVP. MVP was a lock. Lamar Jackson. This is regular season awards, the Associated Press Awards. People vote on it. So the MVP was Lamar Jackson of the Ravens, to the surprise of no one. The head coach of the year, people were talking about, whether it be the Houston head coach, whether it be, there were a bunch of head coaches that did amazing jobs. But Kevin Stefanski of the Cleveland Browns got Coach of the Year. And you look at what he went through, losing his stud quarterback, then losing his backup quarterback, and then eventually having to bring in, having a rookie on the team, DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, go in and play and get hurt, and then bringing in Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody can argue with the Kevin Stefanski selection, because the Browns were an amazing story, what they had to go through, and still made a deep run late into the season. And the Browns fans, normally disappointed, have to be happy with the way things went, because they weren't going to go to the Super Bowl once they lost to Deshaun Watson.
No.
So the Offensive Player of the Year, another no shocker, Christian McCaffrey of the 49ers. Defensive Player of the Year, Browns defensive end, Myles Garrett. Joe Flacco mentioning. So Cleveland had a good night last night. Not in Cleveland, but here in Las Vegas. So you had Joe Flacco was comeback player of the year, and I said that was a lock. You know, and there were a lot of good candidates, but what Joe Flacco did, getting off his bed, playing in the backyard with his kids, and coming in and really putting on an unbelievable show for a 38-year-old man, throwing the ball with the accuracy. And obviously, it came to an end eventually because he threw a couple of costly picks. But I don't think you can be disappointed with the Cleveland Browns because they hung in there. And then the offensive rookie of the year, C.J. Stroud. His coach could have been, you know, the coach of the year too. But so C.J. Stroud, the quarterback of the Houston Texans, gets offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. His teammate, the pick that came right after him, Texans D-end Will Anderson Jr. So the offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year coming from the Cleveland Browns, the Houston Texans. And then you have the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and he gave a great speech last night, Cameron Hayward. Cam Hayward is not only a great player, he's a great, and the Walter Payton Man of the Year, there's a candidates from every team, and then they vote. And these are guys that not are just great players, but do things off the field for charity, going out and helping communities. And Cam Hayward of the Steelers had a great speech last night. We'll play some of that a little later on today. The assistant coach of the year. I didn't know they did assistant coach of the year. Did you?
Me either. I had no clue.
Jim Schwartz. The Schwartz was strong. So another Cleveland Brown, Jim Schwartz, who did a great job in Philly, was a head coach, but a great defensive mind. Had a great defense with the Cleveland Browns. He was the defensive assistant coach of the year.
So Cleveland really made out really well last night.
Absolutely. They had the most valuable player. No, that was Baltimore. They had Kevin Stefanski, the coach. They had Myles Garrett and Joe Flacco and Jim Schwartz all win awards.
Tony, if you want me to play, I have the Cam Hayward.
Do you have Cam Hayward? Yeah, and we're gonna talk to our boy Brian Bruno here in a second. But if you didn't hear this speech, and we didn't hear it because we're moving around, but Cam Hayward of the Pittsburgh Steelers, everybody loves this guy. You don't have to be. One thing about being here, all the players respect one another. These are all great, the best of the best. And when they gave Cam Hayward the defensive, the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, he came up with an unbelievable speech. Let's listen in.
Man, Prince freaking Harry. Man, I'm just shocked. That's Prince Harry. First of all, I want to say thank you to God. I wouldn't be here today. Go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Robin, can you pause that for a second?
Wait. Ever since I've been to Pittsburgh.
Now, I'm going to say, because I started hearing the replay last night, once we got back to the room for the party, almost every single player, almost just minus one person. And I think the reason why they did, because it was NBC that cut him off when he said,
well, it wasn't him. It was C.J. Stroud they cut off when he said they want to thank God first.
Yeah, but every single one of them started out with, I like to either thank my Lord Jesus Christ, my Savior, or I like to thank God. Thankfully, none of them were cut off. So I just want to bring up that point there.
Let's get back to the tape here, Robin. And let's cut off the mic, because I want to hear this whole thing. How long is it? It's not that long, right?
No. It's 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's listen to this.
Steeler, I've always thought God and my dad had a plan for me, and I'm living it right now. I want to say thank you to the Pittsburgh Steelers for giving me this opportunity. Mike T, it's an honor to be coached by you, and man, I couldn't play for any other coach. To my teammates, I'm thankful to be your teammate. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not touched. I don't get a chance to interact with you guys, that you push me, you give me a chance to give back, and you support me. I have to say thank you to the Steelers organization, Mr. Rooney, Dan Rooney. I also have to give a big shout out to my community people, Blair, Angela, Bert, you guys do an amazing job. Omar, you give me a chance to give back. You give me a chance to go out there and affect my community. This might be a little bit hard for me. When I talk about my family, I talk about my mom. When my dad passed away, there was only one person who stepped up for my family. And she stepped over my foundation. I play football and I get a chance to give back, but I can't do everything. And so she picks up the slack for our foundation. There's not anybody in Pittsburgh that doesn't know her name, and it's all for the right reasons. My wife, you are my rock. You push me. You're there for me. You are the love of my life, and I'm thankful for that. My brothers, Corey, Craig, Connor, my sister, Megan, we're a roughhouse group, but we get a chance to play around with each other. We get a chance to be a part of what my dad started. It's truly special. And a special thank you, special thank you to the Walter Payton family. Please give it up for them. This is my 6th time, so I've gotten a chance to know them over the years. And Ms. Connie, you've always said it right. We are blessed to be a blessing. And Brittany and Jarrett, your dad would be so proud of you guys. You are creating more of his legacy. You are making this award what it is today. The work you guys do is truly special. And to be up here today, I can't think of a better man to represent this award, and it's because of you guys. When I talk about my dad, he wore number 34, and he's been with me the entire time. He's been with me every step of the way. But I know there was another 34 that was helping me. This man, Walter Payton. He's done so much on and off the field, and he's changed so many lives that now I have the opportunity to be part of such a great fraternity, and the Walter Payton finalists and winners. I know I can carry this on and take the rock. I can't run as fast as Walter, and I won't try, but I'll make sure I do my part. I want to give a big shout out to every nominee, every winner here today. There's no act too small. There's no act too big. We are all trying to make a difference in so many people's lives. I continue to keep doing the work, as I will. This award is great, and I appreciate it, but I understand I got more work to do. I gotta make sure I represent this man every day going forward. And so I ask you guys, my brothers, keep doing the work. Keep being the positive role models you are. I know it's not always pretty. I know a lot of people like to talk about the other stuff, but you guys are the change. You guys are making a difference. And I'm just thankful for that. And last thing, if you are a young child or you are part of the youth, just know whether you're struggling, you're hurting, and you're just looking for somebody to have your back, I got you. So thank you so much. God bless. Good night.
How about that, huh? The great Cam Hayward last night, NFL Player of the Year, the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and you'll see the players will have that Walter Payton patch where they were their own team's Man of the Year nominees.
Right.
And last night during the NFL Honor Show, they gave out the accolades and the hardware. I mentioned the Browns having the defensive and offensive players. Comeback player. No, I'm sorry. The Texans having the offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year. Second year in a row that happened. The Jets last year had the offensive and defensive rookies of the year. So for the second consecutive year, the top 2 players on offense and defense from the same team. Sauce Gardner last year, and who's the other Jet last year? You remember who it was? His teammate. I mean, there aren't that many Jets that you can say, well, those guys were the 2 best players on the team. And last year with the situation with those guys, they were the 2 best players on the team. So I can't get it now because I was looking for it earlier, and I should know this. The offense. So last year it was Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver, and the cornerback Sauce Gardner, who won the respective awards last year. So the Texans and Jets joined the 2017 Saints when they had Alvin Kamara, the running back, and quarterback Marshawn Lattimore. and the 1967 Lions with Mel Farr and cornerback Lem Barney as the only teams to sweep those awards, the offensive and defensive rookies of the year. So that's pretty rarefied company there. As we break down last night's show, and you heard the Cam Hayward great speech last night, and the ending is the best part. We're joined now by a man who is helping us make this network better. He's not making America great again. He's making the Tony Bruno Sports Network great for the first time. He was there with us last night. He was hanging. He was taking care of Pete. He was playing nurse practitioner. He's been playing Let's Go to the Parties. I want to see all this stuff that you guys have been talking about. I want to be on Radio Row. The great Brian Bruno, a man who manages wealth, except mine because I don't have much wealth. Brian, so grateful to have you here, man. I really appreciate all your support.
We're hoping we're going to change that soon, and he's going to be managing our wealth.
He's got plenty of wealth.
I got a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of needless facts and useless information. But Brian, we appreciate. I know you and Pete have been good buddies. You play golf together, and Pete being on our network is one of the first major stepping stones to building this thing. So I thank you for the relationship with Pete and for guiding him over here to be with us.
Tony, it's great to be with you, and it was amazing to hang with you last night.
You were hanging all the way to the end. You were not going to go home until Robin said, "That's enough. I got to go to bed. I got to get at least 3 hours sleep."
Yeah, apparently the only thing I'll do till 3 o'clock in the morning is, give my wife whatever she possibly needs, walk my dog, and.
So now your company is Naples Wealth Management, right?
It is.
But you're not
Naples Wealth Planning. Yeah.
What is it?
Naples Wealth Planning.
What did I say? Wealth what?
Management.
Oh,
I
wealth
tried
planning.
to get management, but it was
management and planning.
Yeah.
It's managing wealth. It's planning wealth.
It is.
And I know you have a relationship with Pete, and you're one of the sponsors on the show, and we really appreciate your support. So, what do you think so far? This is your first Super Bowl, right?
It's amazing.
This is your
It's
first
amazing.
trip to
Just
Vegas, right?
Hanging with you. Apparently you're my long lost father now, right? As well.
We didn't tell that. Did we tell that story on the
Yeah,
air?
somebody told you. I think you told the story yesterday, Robin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
When
even
you were
better,
walking around.
Robin's my long lost mother. Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
better.
Well, stepmother. Yeah.
Not the wicked stepmother.
No.
There were a lot of those at the party last night. There was a table right in front of us that was all these women who had to be in their 80s.
At least they were all silver-haired, blue-haired, dressed to the nines.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very nice to see that they did not have duck lips, nor were they had.
No, they looked very normal.
They looked normal, but they were hanging at the party.
Yeah,
I think they were there when we left,
I
right?
think
Yeah,
so.
they were pounding it, and we were like falling asleep. And these women in their 80s at the table right below. I mean, it was all the MVP room,
Yeah.
but the upper deck is where we were. It was a little riser, and then there's that long bar thing, seated area that goes all the way across these clubs. But these women were at a table right in front, and I'm like, we're talking about the women, the players and the players, and we called them the. What would we call in the women with all the boobs and stuff? And then we said these are the grandmoms. No, they were grandmommed in. The grandfathered in. How did they get in here? Well, they were grandmothered in to
I
this
kept
event.
asking people. I said, "What's the story with this?" There must have been at least 8 of them.
Yeah.
What's the story with a group of these 8 ladies who are all silver-haired, hanging out at this raucous party?
I thought they were shooting a Cocoon sequel.
I don't know.
Cocoon 3, Cocoon 85.
So
I don't know what it was.
Were they the silver sneakers babes of Toyland?
I don't know.
No, I'm eligible for. If you have Medicare, you're eligible for silver. So you don't have to be 85. That's right. You have to be 65 to get silver sneakers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Robin had silver sneakers on last night.
I did. I had
They were
silver
good.
sparkly sneakers. I was so excited. It's the little things.
Well, Brian at least had a chance to win some money this week here.
I did.
And it was a big score. Tell us about that, because, when people come, I haven't sat at a slot machine. I said I meant 2 parlay bets. I'm going to get my Super Bowl bet in later today, and we'll release those later in the show. So you guys put together and you did an NBA prop?
We did, yeah. The Bucks, which, I think Pete had the parlay on. So
So did you guys cash in and have enough money to pay for the entire week of drinking?
No. I mean, with coffee at $26 a cup, I think I just covered one cup of coffee. Yeah. But then I get back to the room last night, and I was saying, at 3 o'clock in the morning, the only thing I would do is wait for Michael Irving, who didn't show up, but I'm very excited he's going to be here today. So Pete had texted me, and I had to bring him a giant bottle of Gatorade and giant bottle of water. So
did you start the IV drip before you went to bed?
Yes, definitely. Yep.
Awesome.
Well,
So
that's
all
what
up for him.
AJ Johnson, who got this first.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to blame him because I think he's the one that brought it with him.
Is he patient C
But
or patient X?
He had one of those roaming nurses come to his room and give him an IV.
Yes, I know he did.
Yeah.
I had one too, but then Robin came in and I told you have to leave right now. I'm sorry. This doesn't look right.
Well, he had not only once though, he had it twice because
Yeah,
he had
he
it
had
the day
yeah.
after.
Exactly.
He swears it made him feel better faster because he got rehydrated and it has all the vitamin B12s and whatever else they put in it.
Now, so what do you think? Because you had, and it's amazing because you travel the world. You go all over the place, but you've never been to Las Vegas. I couldn't believe that.
I've never been here. Yeah, well, financial services industry, Tony, it's they kind of boycotted it. In my early career, I had opportunities to get here, but always got diverted because I don't know why. I was actually nervous coming because
they don't want financial planners here at that Super Bowl?
Well, it's a bad connotation that we're handling people's money and are we gambling, right? So, most of the...
I think most people who have money managed, even like people like me with just a Fidelity 401k, I don't think Fidelity is going to check up on me and find out whether I'm draining out my account.
maybe the
but it's my
person-
money. It's my money.
But maybe it's the person that's managing your company. If they were constantly going to Vegas, that might set
But
a bad
he's never
image.
been to Vegas.
I know.
Yeah,
that's
that is the reason.
That's the reason why.
Never. So now what's made it change now? Are your clients going to call up and say, Brian, what are you doing in Vegas, man? Where's my money?
I hope not, Tony.
No, I'm kidding. No. I mean, look, the NFL hated gambling 10 years ago. Now everything you see here is gambling.
It is.
So
Yeah.
times change. People get it. Unless you disappear and all of the accounts are drained, I think you're okay. So Brian, the game is, as I said, you can't explain Radio Row unless you've seen it at least once. And, I've seen it so many times. But every year, even though I know a lot of people and I get the same people on, every year I meet new people. You get to meet Wayne Newton and, Andrew Zimmer and the chef we know. So there's a lot of regulars. But when you get to see new people who are part of that community, Carrot Top, who's been there forever, Wayne Newton, who is Mr. Vegas, that's the stuff that throws. Listen, I talk to all the athletes all the time, and we play the tapes of the players who really aren't saying anything. The athletes everything's close to the vest. They're not going to say anything outrageous. Andy Reid is a guy who doesn't go out and make outlandish statements. Patrick Mahomes is very careful. And so these two teams have a lot of classy guys, and they're not going to give any bulletin board material, because that's what happens. A lot of games, one guy will spout off, and then it'll get the other team all jacked up, and, we're going to go after that guy. But every single event, every single news conference, the media night, it's all nothing but respect. Because these guys know they're the two best teams in the NFL, and they're going to play to see who the eventual Super Bowl winner is. So that's what's good about it. There are years where somebody does something and it becomes the big story and we talk about it all week. We haven't had one of those, luckily. And so that's what this is all about, because you're not going to get any new information out of a player. They're not going to say anything, divisive. They leave it up to me and Pete, and guys like me and Pete, to come on radio and say not divisive stuff, but call stuff out. So that's the fun of this. And people say sometimes, why aren't you talking more about the game? How much more can you talk about the game? It's a game, and we'll make the picks, and we'll ask everybody, who do you like? But on Monday morning when we start, you can't ask the first person that sits down, who do you like? Because a lot of people aren't even here for the game. A lot of people are, walking around. They're not NFL players. And so that's what happens, and we have a good time, and hopefully it translates to the audience watching on their phones, wherever they are, because of the Tony Bruno Sports Network, digitally around the world. So that's the biggest thrill of me having this network, is that I don't have to, when people say, where are you now, Tony? I just say, download the app.
Yeah.
So it's not one radio station. It's not one city. It's the whole world. We've got the whole world. Who was the paint company that had the globe, and then they were pouring.
Williams.
Sherwin-Williams, right? Where they're pouring the gallon of red paint on top of the globe, and then it spreads all over. That should be my head as the globe.
That'd be perfect.
And then we'll have the paint, the Sherwin-Williams paint falling it, and it covers the dome.
Wait,
how about that?
You have to do the Blue Man Group since you got
Yeah, I already had.
indoctrinated
I had
for
the
it.
blue dot.
Yeah.
Now, should we be blue?
Actually, put the crown on first and
Put
then
the
let it-
crown and then pour the blue paint. Blue or red?
That would be
I don't want to
perfect.
do orange because orange man bad. So I got to do blue or red. and one of our other great guests last night, a man who was also stunned and dazzled and amazed last night. The man from the great Maxwell Club in Philadelphia.
Yes.
You know the
Rick
Maxwell
Calhoun.
Club.
There he is.
Rick had to get out because he had to do like business stuff this morning.
He was acting as a bouncer for a little while.
Yeah, he was. He was keeping the crowd under control.
Yeah.
You know, when one of the highlights, Big Dom, the 76er security guy came in.
Did he?
Yeah, and we waved him in. Robin went out and said, "There's Big Dom's out there. Get him in here." So you got Big Dom coming in, you know, and I went up, and I had never met Big Dom because, you know, I haven't been in Philly every week.
Right.
So he comes in, and I introduce myself. So I know who you are, man. You're a Philly guy, Tony. We got you. We got your back. And I said, I had your back too, Dom. Great guy. He looks like he's like 20 years old. When you see him on TV, he's like, boy, that guy is old. He's not. He looks like a kid, Big Dom. Did he not, Robin? You met Big Dom. Did you think he would look that youthful?
I did not. He looks like he's 27 tops.
Exactly. I don't know how old
I
he
don't know
is.
how old he is. Do you know how old he is?
Big Dom.
I don't know.
Now,
You're actually on. You're on.
Oh, I'm live.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're live.
let's do
Good
it
morning,
live.
Angel.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. How are
morning.
you?
Good morning. Now, you've been to a lot of these events. I mean, the Maxwell Club, people know it's in Philadelphia. When they give the Maxwell Award, it's like the precursor to the Heisman. So many years, what the Maxwell Club votes for as the player, it's usually a quarterback, right? Explain the Maxwell Club because I've known it forever. Ron Jaworski was running it for a while, was a president, but you're the guy who puts it all together because you've been to big events like last night and you know how all this stuff works.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of work. A lot of work. Oh, am I live, Robin?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
live.
you are. You are. I'm just going
Can
to
you hear
turn
us
up
up
your
now?
mic a little bit because here. There you go.
Thank you, Millie.
So, yeah, Tony, the Maxwell has actually been around for 87 years.
Yeah.
We're one of the oldest awards in college football. And our executive director, Mark Wolpert, does a phenomenal job putting the event together. And I wouldn't say that we're a precursor to the Heisman. I actually think we're better than the Heisman, but that's a personal statement. We're one of the few organizations that actually supports football at every level. So we support football at the high school, the college, and the professional level. And this year we actually expanded out for the first time ever. We had an inaugural class of 10 girls in Philadelphia last Sunday that received our Mini-Max Award for their success in the high school football flag leagues that have been created. The Philadelphia Eagles are a huge supporter. The NFL is a huge supporter. Troy Vincent and Roman Oben have been great supporters of both the flag programs and, of course, what we're doing as well. So it's really exciting. So, as you said, Tony, the Maxwell is the outstanding college player of the year. Traditionally, you're right. It has been a quarterback. I think we can all probably agree that the quarterback is the star that stirs the cock.
Well, ask
straw.
any team that doesn't have a quarterback
Yeah.
how important a quarterback is.
Yeah. Ask Florida State what happens when you lose your quarterback, huh?
Exactly right. No, and you're right. And then most years, when you guys pick the quarterback, and then it seems like the Heisman picks the same person.
Traditionally, yeah. There's been some changes. Obviously, this year we went with Michael Penix, and the Heisman went with Jaden Daniels from LSU. Our voters just felt that Michael's numbers were better. And there's elements of that to go into it, but I think our voters got it right, and that's not to knock Jaden. I just think Michael had an incredible year. His body of work was fantastic. We're excited about our event on March the 8th in Atlanta. It's the first time ever, as you know, we're leaving the Delaware Valley.
Yeah,
you probably remember.
I left the Delaware Valley also, so, but it's still my home.
I got a call this morning from Miss Robin. I didn't realize she had a Doylestown phone number. I thought it was my mother-in-law calling me. Tracked me down in Vegas. I was like, oh my God, Doylestown. Scared the hell out of me.
No, 267 isn't Doylestown, is it?
It shows up on my phone as Doylestown.
But,
yeah.
But in Philly, like a lot
Just
of towns.
call me mommy.
It was 215, then it was 610. So all these areas that are growing, have multiple area
They do.
codes. Like LA, there's 310, and then there's a whole bunch of them. But no, it's a great organization. And I know Ron Jaworski was involved with you guys
For
a long,
years.
long time. And he had his cigar party last night. We were wondering whether we should have gone to the cigar party because last night there were a bunch. There was the Madden Bowl. There was the Honors, obviously, which is a hard ticket to get. And then there was a cigar party. There was the Madden Bowl, as I mentioned. Then the What else was there? And then was Michael Irvin's party,
Yeah.
and there are parties everywhere. And then there were after parties at the honors, and that's why those guys didn't show up till after midnight
Yeah.
because they were all here in the Mandalay Bay, you know, at the big event. Michael Irvin was in the front row, so by the time he got there, schmoozing with all the winners and hanging out, then they all, you know, go away and go to all these other after parties and stuff. So Michael probably got there at midnight, and he's going to be here this morning though. And you watch, Michael Irvin will be just as chipper as I am, with 3.5 hours sleep. Although I think he'll have more than 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I have a feeling that he's going to get to sleep in just a little bit. But he was probably staying out later than
Oh, yeah,
we were
absolutely.
too,
And
so.
he's a veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about the Cowboys back in the day, those guys could run, and they could run hard.
Well, you have stories of you and Michael when you would like stay out all night and then just go straight into your morning shift.
And this was after his career was over, not when he was playing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
keep him out like the night before the Super Bowl and then the Cowboys, because the Cowboys didn't lose Super Bowls. They just now losing recently in NFL playoff
Right.
games. They can't even get to a Super Bowl, let alone win one. And so, but I love Michael and I love all those guys, Moose Johnson, those Dallas Cowboy greats in that dynasty team back, you know. Babe Laufenberg, but he wasn't the quarterback. He was a quarterback in that era.
Yeah.
But the guys, the Troy Aikmans, the Jay Novaceks, you know what I mean? The Michael Irvins, all of those guys.
Nate Newton.
Well, Nate Newton had a lot of other things. He was a delivery man. He was delivering before FedEx and UPS. He was delivering product to all the other players in the National Football. And he got in trouble for it, but he was always a nice guy. You know, he was like delivering weed. He was way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Now people are delivering weed legally. He was delivering it. And by
They
the
were
way,
delivering it here.
by the way, last night, I remember I said we were talking about weed. So being the journalist, it always, whenever I see something, I stop and take a picture to prove it. So we're walking back into the Luxor last night after we left the party and got out of the cab. And the cab driver was awesome. His name was, what was his first name? Robin?
Tony, wasn't it?
No. It was Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Dave.
Yes, that's right.
Dave. And he was funny. He was like
a comedian.
Yeah, he was giving one-liners, and dude, I said, you have your own room after you do the cab? You know, you go in and do like a late night comedy club thing on the Strip. So anyway, I see the picture, and every time I see something that's unusual, I want to take a picture of. Now, I didn't take any pictures of the women last night with the gigantic boobs
Which
and the
I,
gigantic.
in hindsight, I wish I had.
Wait a minute, Robin. Oh, Robin. Wow, that's the best line of the morning so far. And Robin's only had 3 hours sleep, and she's delivering a hindsight joke in relationship to the big booty we saw last night and big everything's, man. I mean, the thing that gets me the most is the lips. I don't get the duck lips thing. Is that attractive to anybody?
No, I mean, I can't imagine it is.
No.
And you know, like women are usually critical. Like, I've had many women realize that they're dressing up more for the other women than they are for men.
I think you're
And
right, bro.
so, as a woman, I don't like that.
What is a woman, by the way? Let's define it on the show. Are we still debating that, or do we still have we reached the conclusion that we know what a woman is?
I am absolutely 100% sure I know what a woman is.
Well, you knew the words to the Helen Reddy song way back in the day when they were proud to be a woman.
Yeah.
Now, we're not getting into that conversation, but the point is, women, I've said this before, you come to Vegas, the women dress like strippers, and the guys dress like strappers.
Yes.
The guys are wearing, like, you know, sneakers and jeans and tank tops, and these women come in dressed to the nines. Every single woman there last night was absolutely, and again, that's not my style.
Not every single woman.
Not every. Well, Robin had she had her shiny shoes on. That's her Valentine's present, so I made her happy.
Oh, yeah,
and we
babe.
can go home. But I mean,
My diamond
you know,
soul
when you go to
shoes.
any of these parties, now you're always going to have hot women, and it was called the Babes in Toyland.
Yes.
So that was and these women were paid to come in and walk around, and you know, and it's a show into itself. You know, it's not my thing, but you know, somebody walks by, you're saying, oh my God, why?
It was definitely an airing of the Golden Globes, both
was the
top
Golden Globe.
and bottom.
The spheres.
The
spheres
spheres, the gold- I mean, unbelievable. And I have no problem with women who are very small-breasted, who get enhancements. You know, I thought about it for a while, and then I had children. and they grew on their own. So I'm glad I didn't do it ahead of time. But you want to feel good about it, but when you go that far, what are you doing? It's like so uncomfortable. It looks so incredibly painful.
Now, what have we heard? I want to put it up on this camera, because anywhere you walk, not just in Vegas, in any city in America, you smell weed no matter where you go, right? And then we had Kyle Turley in here and Jim McMahon. They represent this big cannabis company because it's legal in most places. But I said, I don't think, and he told us marijuana is not legal to smoke in Las Vegas. And I said, look, it's like tinted glass, Tinted glass is not legal, and it's okay if the cop doesn't stop you. Right. But here, so last night we're walking into the Luxor. I'm going to put it up on this camera, Robin. Can you see that? And what does that say on that sign?
Well, I can't read it from that because it's really small on my screen. Why don't you read it out?
It says, public consumption of marijuana in Nevada is still illegal, and it's got the marijuana leaf and then the red circle and a line across it. Public consumption of marijuana in Nevada is illegal as we're walking into a casino where people are smoking weed as we walk in.
We are reading that as we are smelling the weed being smoked right next to us.
So public consumption is frowned upon, but you're still going to do it, and we don't have enough cops or anybody. And I don't want people arrested for weed. And we've gone past that. But when everybody thinks of Las Vegas as Sin City, there's a lot of things that aren't legal here that are legal everywhere else. Even in some of the Bible Belt states, they have more freedom than, and again, it's not a freedom thing. People can smoke everywhere here.
Well,
they drink everywhere. They can walk
here,
down the street.
In Nevada, in certain parts of Nevada, prostitution is legal,
yes,
as we all know. But it is not technically legal here in Las Vegas, in the city limits of Las Vegas. And I learned something the first night when we were checking into our hotel room. When we got into the lobby level elevator, there was a young lady in a sweatshirt and sneakers.
Right.
And she was already there, and I thought she was going to be leaving, and she said, "No, I'm staying in." And so we get in, and she got out on our floor, which was the 22nd, which was.
So in these hotels, you have to have a room key card to hit on the little sensor before you can hit your room. So I knew right away when she was in there, she didn't have a room key. So when we put the room key up and hit the 22nd floor, she stayed on, and she got off at the 22nd floor and then took out a phone. And so obviously she was a worker.
And then Tony and Angel both explained to me, they're like, "Oh, that's a hooker." And I'm like, "She doesn't look like a hooker." And she said, and they both said that's because she doesn't want to look like a hooker, but she is a hooker because she was utilizing our card to get up high as possible, and then she would call her client and then go down to the floor that she was supposed to be
or up, because once you're at that level, then the person can come down and get her who's in a hotel. So there's ways to get around it, and that's why the security getting into hotel rooms, not just here in Vegas, but now most of the hotels that don't want people that aren't in the hotel coming in and going to different floors and walking around and looking for empty rooms, or maybe because there's not cameras on every floor, so the people come in and they see people dressed up well, they want to knock them over the head and get some money. But that's why the whole elevator thing is there. But there's ways around it. And I said to Robin, as soon as we got on there and she was on and she didn't get off, but she got off at our floor and picked out her phone, I said, she was working and she found a way to beat the system. So, and I know they're out at the media night the other night, there were women with signs saying, "Make sex workers legal," because they're not legal. And one woman had a sign that said, "My son is my pimp."
Yeah.
So these sex workers, they want rights too, because you can't do that in Las Vegas legally. Right. And they want it to be made legal. Why is it legal in the desert but not legal in Las Vegas?
It's goofy.
And so, to me, I'm not into the prostitution thing, but if you got gambling that's legal here, you've got pretty much everything else is legal. Prostitution is not legal. And you know
why? It would
why?
be safer. It would be safer if it were.
Safer, but you have to be able to control it and make sure the women, have all the proper medical care.
Just ask the Netherlands how they do it. They've had it covered and safe for forever.
since the first windmill was put up there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Since the first tulip
Since Don
bulb-
Quixote.
Yes,
It is
since
safe.
the first tulip bulb bloomed, and then fields of tulips every year. That's like the prostitutes. They come out every year, and then they go back into the ground when it gets too cold and it rains
Oh,
too
no, no,
much
no.
in the Netherlands, which it does all the time, which is why I won't go there.
Yeah,
Even though
well,
Robin-
if they went back in the ground, if that happened, they would never be out. So they do not allow weather to affect them.
That one through.
By the way, what time is our flight tomorrow? Do you know? Because we're all leaving tomorrow.
12:34.
Yeah.
Are you leaving tomorrow also?
I am.
Are we all on the same flight?
I think
No,
so.
I'm on a 7 a.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I made a mistake. I made a mistake and booked an early flight.
I hate to do it to you, man. I got to give you one of these. And we haven't given many of these.
No, we have
No.
not.
Might be the first one.
You get one of those.
Nick's going north to the cold, too, right?
Where are you going up to Philly
Back
again,
to
right?
Philly, yeah.
What's the weather up there? Is it nice?
It's cold. It's cold.
You know what the
Tony.
weather is in Southwest Florida? Do we have an
beautiful.
update on the weather? Let's get a South Florida because we have a Southwest Florida man
yeah.
right here. The great Brian Bruno with the latest traffic and weather on the 75 on Alligator Alley. Let's go to Brian Bruno with your updated weather information.
Terrific day.
Come on, bro.
Be
You got to be
balmy
ready.
70 degrees tomorrow.
It is.
This is your
It
captain
is. It is
speaking.
74 degrees in Naples right now,
Look at
Tony.
that. I was close, though.
74 in Naples.
I didn't have the data.
Fasten your
Great
seat.
angel.
From the flight deck, this is Captain Brian Bruno. We'll be flying at an altitude of 32,000 feet. Make sure you look at the Luxor, but don't look into the light because it could blind you as we're flying over the Strip.
That's true.
And also as we approach the RSW Fort Myers Airport, don't forget to stop by Culver's to get a beautiful butter burger. The double butter burgers are really, really good, Robin, are they not?
Yes, they are.
All right, now fasten your seatbelts, put those stinking tray tables up in an upright and locked position, and don't have those damn seats up because if they're back like just 1 inch, you'll die.
We'll crash.
But if you sit, I've seen comedians do that. If you're sitting like this straight up, everything's okay. But if you go back a little bit when we take off, that could be fatal. The door could blow off. The windows could blow off. The cockpit could blow off. They don't call it the cockpit anymore. It's the flight deck.
Flight deck.
From the flight deck, ladies and gentlemen. I love this one. There's a comedian that does the whole bit
Yeah.
where he's the captain.
But it's
This
like,
is your captain
and
speaking.
then, I mean, you're not going to be able to see me, but they're like,
That's beautiful.
dangerous? Wait,
Not-
no,
yeah,
that's
dangerous.
dangerous? Safe.
Yes.
Dangerous? Safe.
Oh, and you have to put your phone on airplane mode because
Oh, I know.
it might impact the airplane.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yeah. Makes
My
no
phone
sense.
can impact our airplane? That's a problem.
It's big
Yes.
trouble.
Well, you know, there's more technology in this phone than there was to send a man to the moon back in
is true.
1969. But we can't send a man to the moon now because the technology's not enough. I mean, I don't get it. I don't want to go back to the moon. Do you?
I don't think so. No.
Why do we need to go back to the moon? There's nothing there except the leftover space junk that we left there. We have abandoned cars up there. It feels like we're in Philadelphia when people just leave their cars anywhere and leave.
This is 67 Pontiac on Mars.
Wouldn't it be funny? We get to Mars and there's like all the 57 Chevy, like going to Havana, Cuba. They have all those vintage cars from the
That's where
50s
they
and
went.
60s, right? And then they have those great horns, as you know, as a man of Latin blood.
See.
And what is the number one horn sound in the Hispanic community?
No, so the Mexicans have kind of a version of it, but it's if I can get it cleared out. And
La
then-
cucaracha, la
Yeah.
cucaracha. That's one of them, right?
Yeah, that's one of them.
We need to get some of those horns.
We do.
By the way, I have to figure out how to get my boom box home.
Yeah, that is
That
beautiful.
thing's heavy. So I got a boom
have to mail
box.
it.
That thing
We
looks
have
like a
so
big
much
cassette
luggage.
player.
Should I pay the extra $50 to put the boom box on the plane, or should I go to FedEx?
Go to FedEx.
Across here,
FedEx,
because
yeah.
I don't need it next day delivery.
I'll even do that for you, Tony. Yeah, I don't want you
Except
carrying
we
that
didn't bring it with us because we had to get over here in a hurry. So what should I do with the boom box given to us yesterday?
Yeah, we're going to
by
have
those
to
great,
figure out.
great guys.
Well, we're going to have to send somebody over because not only do we need to get the boom box so that we can send it out, but we need to go get your briefcase,
Yes,
which
I left
you
my briefcase
forgot.
in the shoe store because I had to get Robin's shoes exchanged. So I brought my briefcase. Luckily, I don't have a lot of valuables in there. Like I have my glasses, so that's why I have these spare glasses with Robin. So I don't have like car keys or home keys. Now, do you have the keys to the truck, Robin?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So I have my wallet, my phone. I don't have a passport in there. I don't even have any like condoms from 20 years ago still sitting in there. You know, back when you would travel.
Yeah, because those would be real valuable.
Yeah, right, exactly right now. I would trust those and a lot of other things that are out there right now, but I'm not using those because Robin and I have been living together for 15 years, and I don't know why there would be condoms still in my briefcase from 25 years ago. Do you,
Hey,
Robin?
you know, you never know when they're going to come in handy.
You never know when you go to a party and some woman will approach you and say, hey. And I'll say, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy and I'm occupied. By the way, I need a drink. That was the hardest part last night.
Oh, it was
that
tough.
The
Yeah.
party. Because I've been to a million of those parties, and, you know, when you get, you know, you're fortunate enough to get in the VIP, so to speak, you would think that they would give you a free drink. But they don't give you a free drink. How much was the drinks last night, Robin? In the VIP.
In the VIP, when we bought 2 drinks, $38.45.
And there wasn't an ounce of vodka in it. But it was just cranberry and ice. And it was the sour cranberry, which is, you know, the ones that they use in the guns.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, it's a mix.
Yeah,
it's not
terrible.
real
Put it in
cranberry.
water, yeah.
And it tastes awful. I couldn't even drink it. Paid $38 and couldn't even drink. I was waiting for somebody to come in with a bottle with the sparklers, you know, when they walk in.
Yeah.
I said, just put a drop. Just put a couple drops in here. I just want some vodka in this nasty cranberry juice. It's an outrage. But that's what happens when you go out to these parties. People think, and the people come from all over every year, and there's all these Super Bowl parties. Athletes are there. Their names are on the list. And then when you show up thinking you're going to meet all these athletes, they get in and get out. And they go to the VIP. They're behind. They don't want to be bothered with the fans. They pick up their cash or their check, and they go to the next party. That's what happens. It's Super Bowl. Everybody wants to meet athletes, and so that's your tip for the day. If you're somebody, and then it used to be $100 to get into these parties. Now it's like $750, $1,500 to get in the VIP, and then you get in there and you're like, wait a minute, I got to pay for drinks too? Are you kidding me? So anyway, so that's your tip for the day if you're coming to the Super Bowl. There's a lot of parties, and I'm not saying they're bad parties, but if you think you're going to go to a party where they have a list of all these NFL players and Hall of Famers, you might get disappointed when you don't get a chance to meet those guys because they're up in the VIP. Some of them will come over and say hi, you know, because some of them are not just taking the money and running out. Some of them are going to go out and spend a couple minutes, take pictures with you. You know what I'm saying?
Tony, it disappeared. I want to bring up your other logo, but how has either Hims or Trojans not reached out to you? Because where's the other one? It went away. Daggone it.
Which picture was it?
Your logo for Into the Night?
Oh yeah, the one with when I'm turned sideways and it's the profile.
Yeah.
So
with the vodka. No, it's a cocktail glass,
Wait,
right?
what would that have to do with condoms unless you say that he looks like a penis?
No.
Are you calling me a dickhead? Are you calling me a dickhead?
Is that what you're implying?
Because it is this silhouette with his sunglasses. Because think about it, that would be a great trademark for Trojans or Hims
It
or
would
somebody
be.
else.
I agree.
Hey, listen, if they want
You
to
too
sponsor
look
the
like
show
a
and
penis
say
in that.
we are fully in favor of safe sex. We are in favor of safe sex. So if we have any kind of contraceptive companies, anything to keep people clean, anything to stop the spread of diseases, and especially more babies that people don't want, I will gladly sponsor any condom company, as long as it's a legitimate company. Hims, but there's so many of them now.
Right.
Everything's. I wonder if that's legal in Vegas, because you're not supposed to smoke weed.
Right.
You can't have hookers in the city of Las Vegas. But what about fake Viagra?
Yeah, the Friday plan.
Should we do a package deal? We'll give you condoms. We'll give you fake Viagra. We should do the Tony Bruno Vegas party pack.
Yeah. Plus the entertainment.
And
we'll actually put vodka in your drink.
And then vodka. And you get a little one of those little bottles of Tito's, you know, the ones that you pay like $17 on the plane. Pete had a couple of those. Yeah, cranberry juice, you know, they'll give it to you. But you buy those little what do we call those things? The
Airplane bottles. Yeah.
Miniatures. Yeah. Airplane bottles, right? And that's enough for a drink. That's actually a good stiff drink. Robin still has one because she got 2 of them. She ordered a Bloody Mary on that flight because it was early. And she got 2 vodkas. Now, did you have to pay for the extra vodka one?
I don't think so. She gave, or maybe I didn't. I just didn't know.
Well, we'll see when we get the credit card receipt.
She gave me 2.
We live in a cashless society. Remember on the airplane, used to make change. Here's 20, and keep. And then you could tip the attendants. You can't tip flight attendants anymore.
No, you're not allowed to.
Anyway, we got a lot of stuff, guys. You hanging around, having fun?
Absolutely.
When are you leaving? You're not leaving soon, are you?
Oh, no. We'll be here.
Last
No, I
night
think
also.
Brian, you're on
I'm
our
on
flight,
the
right?
12:30. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all,
I'm
and
just gonna
he's
make
on
sure
our
I'm not
flight
sitting
too.
next to Pete. I'm going to move him.
I know.
Yeah, I don't want to
know.
get sick. The last time we went away, we went back to Philly for the Christmas holiday. We came back sick. We had the flu, then we got COVID, and we
That's
were like
right.
shut
You guys-
down for 3 weeks. I can't be shut down for 3 weeks anymore. I got stuff to do, man. I got a marathon day. We'll be breaking this thing down as soon as we get off the air. Robin and I, and Angel, you don't have to do it, man, because you've done so much. We're going to break this all down, put it in boxes, and then we're going to haul it across the floors of all the casinos. I'll be waving in the slot machines. I may sit down and put a 20 in a slot machine, because that's how it works. If I put a $20 bill and I don't get a spin on the Wheel of Fortune, and it's got to be 25 cents, and I'll play $1, $3 or $4, 75 cents a spin, because you can't spin the wheel if you only play one.
No.
Whether it's the mega bucks, you got to play $3 if it's $1 mega bucks to be eligible to get them. Imagine getting the mega bucks, but you only put $1 in and you're not eligible
But
for
here's
it.
the problem, Tony. We really should go off the strip to play any kind of slot machines because they're looser out there.
Hey, and that's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
No, but that's what the locals say. All the local, right? Well, actually,
Well, by the
Bisa-
way, Bisa is back on our final day here, and we've been giving love to the interns. Bisa and Jessica they've been the stars. I mean, everybody else is here is supposed to be
Speaking
here.
of which, actually, let me read this to you. And I think he's actually on the line right now. But Dean texted in a message this morning. After an NHL game, they give out 3 stars of the game. I'm giving out 3 stars of Super Bowl week on TBSN. Number 1, Robin. Thank you, Dean. Number 2, Angel. And number 3, the UNLV interns. Great job,
Do they
guys.
have
Give
to
yourselves
share
a
it?
pat
Do
on the
they have
back
to
because
share
you
the
served
third place prize money?
Well, because it's
Of
only
which
3
there's
stars.
none? You know, like when there's a tie for third place in a golf tournament, they split the money.
Yeah.
But we don't have any money for the interns. That's why they're interns. We've just given them a week of fun, and I know they've been enjoying it because they laugh a lot. I don't think they can fake it. I don't think Bisa or Jess could fake the fun that they've had on the show this week. Let's go to Dean. Is he there? Dean, why are you giving the interns to share the third place prize money?
Oh, whoops, that's my fault.
Can you bring it up? 'Cause I
Yep,
don't
here,
have-
here. That's
I
my
don't
fault,
have the
Dean.
call. Okay.
Go ahead, Dean.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
What's up, brother? Well, Tony, I mean, just like in the Olympics, right? Sometimes two bronze medals are given out, right?
Yeah, but they're bronze. They're not giving double golds out. That's rare. And they're not even
Well,
golden.
no, I didn't give out double golds. I gave Robin the gold.
And you gave
Your
Angel
boy
the silver.
and the girls the bronze.
Yeah, that's okay. That's more than Robin normally gets. That's more than
I mean, if you want me to
Smith in
send,
the
if you
house
want me
with
to
his
send the
water.
interns
Is
some
that
money, just
tequila?
give me their phone
What
numbers.
is that? Is that tequila? Oh, that's the.
Looks good.
That's the Herradura. That's good stuff, man. My Emmett Smith walking by the Hall of Famers. He's early. He's the first NFL person I've seen here who's not working.
Yeah.
But he's working. He's pimping tequila. Maybe we could pour a shot. I'll actually have real alcohol
There you
once
go.
in my
There you
system for
go.
this week. We'll do some tequila shots on the final show. How about that? See how long we can last. You know the T-shirt? 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, floor. Floor.
I
Haven't
don't
you seen those T-shirts?
Yes.
1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila.
I don't even think I could do 1.
Floor.
I could
Not
not
four.
even do 1.
Floor. Anyway,
He looks in good shape.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's making more money now than when he played.
Right.
Because remember, those teams back in the 90s, they didn't have $200 million contracts. And Emmett Smith, and those guys won Super Bowls. Now, rookie gets his first contract, and he's getting $300 million guaranteed.
Sure
So and Emmett's a star. He's a Hall of Famer. Everybody sees him and recognizes him. He's doing a lot of commercials, and that's good because these guys, they came before all these young guys who are getting tons of money now without proving anything, but they proved it and earned it. And that's the way it should be, right? That's the way it should be. Athletes, they get awards for their college career, and then some of them make it big and some of them don't. And just because you win the Heisman or the Maxwell or any of these other awards, now the awards last night are based on performance for the pros, and then the NFL Man of the Year awards based on what you do not just on the field but in the community as well. So that's recognizing people who have done it. And now the young guys are getting a better chance than ever. They're going to get, if they're any good after their rookie contract, they're going to make more money than anyone can imagine possible for a human being to make.
Yep.
And so, is that good? Absolutely. That's the way the world works. But I don't think a lot of these athletes are bitter. Now, you know better than anyone. When at the Maxwell Club, the Maxwell Club, you're honoring people who we hope are going to be the next stars in the National Football League.
Sure. Tony, the thing that I think that we forget is the beatings that the body took of players like Emmett and some of those older players. The gentleman you had on yesterday, Mel Owens.
Yeah.
Incredible player, played out of Michigan. They took a physical beating, and they didn't get paid nearly as much as the gentlemen that are getting paid now in the league are,
true.
right? And as you said, the rookies come in, get big contracts, and I think it's really great to see how well Emmett is doing. His health is good, and he's able to continue to function. We've seen a lot of bad stories.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys, and the Players Association had a fight to get these guys medical coverage.
Yeah.
Because if you don't play a certain number of years, you're not vested. And there's guys who are 1 year short, and there they are all banged up. They have chronic arthritis. A lot of them had to have hip replacements, knee replacements.
And if they had a lot of head injuries,
yeah,
they're
the CTE stuff.
Dealing
Luckily,
with
the CTE
Alzheimer's
stuff,
and all sorts of stuff
right.
that's now
Luckily,
associated.
all the research that's going into it now, we can deal with it. But back in the day, in the 60s, 70s, even the 80s and 90s, these guys didn't have that kind of medical care that you get now. Now when somebody goes down on the sideline, they take you out of the game. They don't do how many fingers am I holding up? All right, go back into the game, right? Now it's like you're going into the medical tent. They're making sure you don't have a concussion. And then if you do, they say you can't go back in, and you have to clear the protocol. So the safety issues, to me, guys, as we talk about this from a human being perspective as opposed to an athlete perspective, it's to help. And I know people, they're playing, they should put flags on them, and these guys don't want to hit each other. Let's go. And Dean's still there. Dean, I'm sorry, man. Did you fall asleep?
No problem.
Every time I get you on the phone, I forget you're there, and most of the times I'm glad about it. but since you waited, and you're the second caller of the day, I'm going to let you speak right now because I need to drink some coffee and wake up.
Well, no, Tony, to me, here we are with Super Bowl and all this, you're talking about these chicks with these lips and these butts and all this. But you got a guy sitting right next to you, Brian, who's a wealth manager. You should be talking to him and getting information to help us build our money, brother.
What do you think this is? You think it's Jim Cramer and he's got sound effects? He's going to tell you to buy.
No, but he can. So Brian, can I ask you one question?
Absolutely.
Now you're in Clearwater. You're in our demo here, Dean. I mean, you don't have to be from Florida to have you represent.
No, we're all over the country. Yeah, Dean, but happy to help you.
You're not like one of those lawyers. What did they say?
I'm not licensed in your state. Who's that guy, the divorce lawyer?
Yeah.
I might not be licensed in your state.
That's it.
So Brian, what do you need,
Brian,
Dean?
I've been asking, different people, financial people, friends, family. I'm getting to the age now where I'm going to be able to collect. I can start collecting Social Security if I want.
Gotcha.
Do you grab it right away, or do you literally wait till you're 67, 70 years old? I mean, I know it depends on how much money you have in your portfolio already, but I mean, if somebody's doing okay, would you advise them to go ahead and grab that Social Security, or just wait?
Yeah, Dean, I think it's.
I don't wait. I started collecting it at 62 because I was going through a divorce and I wanted to have some money.
Right.
And you don't know how long you're going to live, so obviously.
Wait, let's listen to the expert.
But no, I'll just give you my opinion because now they're talking about young people now who are still paying, who start to pay into Social Security.
We'll hear from the non-expert.
No, but I'm saying they're telling politicians are telling us that you have to wait till you're 70 to start collecting.
Know.
So I feel bad for the younger people who are going to have to work the next 50 years to collect at 70. What happens if you want to? Now, if you're rich at 60 or 50, you don't have to worry about Social Security. Right. Super rich people don't say, I can't wait till I get that check for $3,000 a month.
Well, then you're going to get taxed on it, too.
Then you get taxed on that, too. So go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
Dean, I think the overwhelming majority would say, hold on to it if you don't need the money currently.
Or send it to me if you don't need it, Dean.
Yeah, that's right. Tony will definitely take it. We get a special account for that. But yeah, So, you know, it is situational. We can help you with that. Just, you know, give Naples Wealth Planning a call, and, you know, there's calculators, you know, based on your full situation. That's really the
Do you
the
have
best way to-
does the phone number? Do we have a phone number to give out? I want to give it out.
We do. Yes.
Would you
I don't have it
remember the
memorized.
phone number?
Of course not.
Okay, I don't know the phone
Dean,
number.
I'll
to
give you
this
my
show,
cell
too.
phone. It'll be easier.
But you can go online.
Don't do that
right?
on the air,
You
though.
can
Right
go
online.
online, right?
Yes. Yeah. And,
NaplesWealthPlanning.com.
.com. Yes.
Beautiful. And as for Brian Bruno, not Bruno, Bruno, it's Brunau.
EAU.
Yeah, Bruno, like in.
It's the French Bruno.
The Bruno.
The Bruno.
All right,
I
Brian,
kind of like
I
the
will-
Italian thing better, but
Is it Canadian or
I will
Bruno?
take-
just throw me down the
I
stairs,
will
my
take
hat.
that under advisement, Brian. I will take that under advisement, but odds are I'm going to go ahead and just start collecting it.
Take the money and run, man.
Yeah,
you die,
that's
it's
the thing.
gone.
I mean, yeah.
You know, it's not like winning the lottery where you get, $1 million a year for the rest of your life. And that's some of that's not transferable. When you die, that money's gone.
Yep.
So when you die, that money's
Right.
gone.
By the way, I do have the phone number.
You have the
NaplesWealthPlanning.com, and the phone number to call is 239-260-9386.
And Brian's standing by right now, and if you want to tell us your wealth, you want to tell us, what kind of income.
Operator standing by.
What you're holding in the bank. If it's in Bank of America, we're going to pull it out, and then we're going to let it ride. We're going to go to the big mega bucks machine, put it in there, and pull a spin, and we could double your money. If you got $5 million, we can get you $10 million by the end of the day. If you give us the capital.
We need the disclaimer now.
Yeah.
And if you
Past
call
returns
within
do
the
not
next 10
indicate
minutes-
future returns.
That's right. Exactly. Absolutely.
And Tony is not managing your money.
Yeah. Tony will not be allowed
Nor,
anywhere near your
nor
money.
flying the space shuttle to Mars to look for the Bel Airs.
I mean, take a chance. Look, you can take a chance. You can give me the $5 million now, and I can turn that into $10 million. But if I'm lucky, you still at least had a chance to win $10 million.
Right.
That you can't there sitting in, in Clearwater Beach, Florida, for God's sake.
Wait, how do we not have that sounder? $10 million, $10 million, $10 million.
And Dean, if it doesn't work out, Tony will send you his used condoms that he's got.
Yeah, in his bag.
No, they're not used.
Apparently, it's a
They're just
package
old.
deal now.
They're just old, right?
They're just old. They're not
They're
used.
expired.
Yeah, I'm sure they're expired. We have a lot. You have the little cranberry bottles, and you look at it, it says expired in 2021, and you say, should I still drink it? Can I still make my vodka cran if I have those little Ocean Spray case that I bought? Because you didn't want to buy the big bottle, and you buy the little ones.
Your new
and then they
Naples Wealth
turn,
Planning
then
gift
they
set.
turn like dark brown and almost black after a year. And you're saying, is this still good? That's what you do, man.
That's terrific.
I think if you put enough vodka in, it wipes it out.
Yes, Dean.
Dean,
Tony, does your condoms have a serial number on it?
I don't know. I got to check. I can't. I got to get my briefcase. And Dean, I left my golf clubs in Dean's car when we played in golf one year in Tampa. I left, and I left my clubs in his car.
Let me tell you that story. So Tony and I we're playing in a golf tournament, right? And so after the tournament's over, we're in the 19th hole, we're having a few drinks, and then we go back to Tony's hotel with a bunch of buddies and friends that were all together for the day. And so finally, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Bruno says, "All right, I got to go to bed. I got to get up and get an airplane first thing in the morning." So Tony and I are saying goodbye in the hotel lobby, and so I saunter out to my car. And so I get in my car. I'm driving. Because I'm buzzed. I'm trying to, get a handle on the situation. And I get about 100 yards down the road. I'm going slow. I wasn't going fast. I'm just, getting my phone, tweaking the radio. And all of a sudden, on the back rear end of my car right here, thud, 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 thud. And I said, what? Do I got a flat freaking tire? And so I stop, I roll down my window, I look out, and there's Tony. Tony was chasing my car 150 yards.
That's awesome.
And I said, what the hell are you doing? He goes, my golf clubs are in your trunk still. Can I get them?
That's it.
And I was in a rental car, so I had to take the rental car because I wasn't living there. And was I in L.A. at the time? I would fly in from L.A. to Tampa to do Gasparilla and do a lot of weeks of shows on 620 WDAE. And people thought I lived in Tampa, just like they thought I lived in San Francisco, because I was always on the air there. But I would physically go into Tampa for a week at a time and do shows on WDAE. And then Gasparilla was always the best week. We always had fun, man. We were on the floats.
Oh, and speaking, and let's backtrack on the story, Tony. Let's go before we picked up. So Tony is supposed to meet us at this spot at the bar we were at the night before. The hotel is right next door to it, and so here it is. everybody at the bar last night said, okay, we're going to meet at 7 o'clock right here in the parking lot. So 5 of us are in the parking lot drinking coffee, standing around waiting for Bruno. He hasn't showed up yet. So we said, screw it. Let's go knock on his door. So, speaking of condoms, we knock on the door, and Tony answers the door, and he goes, oh, guys, I'm sorry. Give me a minute. And you look through the door, and there's a chick in Tony's bed.
No, that's not
Tony
true. Come on.
Tony,
You have any
bullshit.
evidence
Tony,
to corroborate that?
You picked up the bartender at the bar and brought it back to your hotel room.
I did not pick her up. She picked me up. I did not
Well,
have
whatever.
sexual.
All I know-
I did not have sexual
Relations with that woman.
Whatever her name was.
What was the name of the bar? Tony, what was the name of the bar? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Saute.
Oh, that's
Saute.
No, that's where we met.
Oh,
That's
I don't
not
remember.
the chick you picked up. At a bar in Tampa
I didn't pick her
somewhere.
up, Dean. We were all drinking, and she took a liking to me. And I'm not trying to pick up waitresses and barmaids, but Tampa women are really, really friendly. And she was, and she was a single mom. She was a single. She wasn't a prostitute. She was a single mom, and then she wanted to come to L.A. and bring her kids out there. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I already have my own kids. I'm going through a divorce. I can't have more kids, and I'm not bringing a woman out to L.A. with 2 kids. I got to get my life back in order. But she was nice, and you're making it sound like I'm a man whore, Dean.
Apparently.
Tony, you
Well, no,
are.
I just say it was just part of the story that morning. That's all.
There was
That
a lot
it.
going.
I
It
mean,
looks,
here
sounds
we
like there
are.
was a lot going on that day, Tony Bruno.
There's a lot going on every day in my
Tony,
life, Robin.
Not only was she serving Tony in the bar, she was serving Tony afterwards.
I need some tequila. I need some tequila, bro. Come on, man. We're on worldwide here, man. You're going to all these local radio stations. Nobody's hearing that stuff. We're on the entire world. We're number 2 in Kuwait.
Dean.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help everybody with a little tequila to start the day. It's Friday morning. Is it happy hour yet? Is it 5 o'clock somewhere?
Sure is.
There's a lot of people who haven't even gone to bed yet. I know that.
I know. Well, here, yeah. Emmitt Smith's walking with 2 tequila bottles.
No, one was water. To be fair,
No,
was
it
Fiji
was.
water.
Keeping it balanced.
One was
Yeah.
Fiji
Oh, yeah,
water.
you have to have water
Yeah.
to chase it.
Yeah.
But they're not even cracked. He didn't even crack.
No,
if you're
because
coming
he's
to
just
my
promoting
set,
it.
He was going to do it.
if you're coming to my set and you got a tequila bottle, that son of a bitch better be open, and I better get a taste. Or I better have another cart pull up like yesterday with our boys bringing us boom boxes and stuff.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Emmitt's not even opening up the bottle of tequila.
Maybe we
that
got to
he's
send him
pimping.
up to Pete. Maybe that'll cure him.
Exactly,
Right?
yes.
A little tequila.
Oh,
Could be the
man.
case.
Hey, Dean, who do you like? I need to pick because it's Friday, and I'm obligated contractually to ask for selections today on the Friday, the final show of the week in Super Bowl week.
Well, I mean, you were talking about Steve and, talking about the numbers of the percent of the people who are betting on who, and I get nervous every time. Anytime you tell me 75 or 80% are on one side, I go the other way. So my bets will be put down on the San Francisco 49ers. I think they win by double digits.
4 double
Everybody's
digits.
on, you heard it. They're going to win by 10 points or more. I'm going to play alternate line probably, and I'm going to roll with the 49ers. Yes, Patrick Mahomes and the boys have been doing great rolling through this playoff, but I think it's going to be a different animal now. I think there's more weapons on both sides of the ball in San Francisco. I think McCaffrey's going to have a field day running all over them boys, and I'm rolling with the San Francisco 49ers.
Now, what's the alternate line? You're not laying the 2 points.
Probably 7.
So
I'm probably gonna bump it up to 7.
Wow, so you're going to get a good payout there if you're doing -7.
Yes. Yes.
And the
So-
over-under, you like over-under?
I would say I think the game's going to go over.
What's the
I
over?
mean,
It's still
they both
staying.
got-
It's like 47.5. That's what it's been all week, right,
Yeah, it
Angel?
hasn't moved. It hasn't moved.
well,
So
if the
Vegas
line hasn't
obviously feels like
moved-
they got the number right.
The line hasn't moved, but I have, and I when I move,
you move
just like that.
That's right.
Exactly. It's a 47.5.
All right, brother. Listen, have a safe trip home, guys.
All right, I'm hoping you're waiting for me because I have all this luggage, and I need somebody to help me bring the stuff back to.
Hey, if you want me to, Tony, if you and Robin want me to fly out there, I will get on a flight right now. Help pack it up and help you carry it home.
Yeah, we're going to fly you in so we can fly back tomorrow morning for no particular reason. No, we appreciate
That's how
it,
much
Dean.
I love you, brother.
I got my big.
That's how much I love you.
I got my big Ram 2500. I can load the entire company in the back of that truck. So it's sitting there
There you
waiting
go.
at the Fort Myers Airport. RSW, if you're looking for the airline code, the airport code. RSW is the airline, Southwest Florida, one of the great airports in America. Believe me.
Well, I
That's
hope
Donald
you got
Trump.
a load of extra suitcases with some dead presidents, and then when you head over to that,
No,
Wheel
the
of
only
Fortune
dead
closet
president will be
before you
me.
walk out.
Hey, Dean, have a good one, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. We got
All
to
right,
take a
guys.
break.
Nice to meet you,
We've
Dean.
already done 2 hours here.
Yeah, it's going by quick.
Is it flying by?
You sure
It is, absolutely.
And I don't think we've talked sport. No, we talk sports. We're talking gambling. We're talking financial. We got the whole thing. We got financial planning advice. We got gambling advice. We got drinking advice. We've got plastic surgery advice. I mean, who else is bringing all that into one sports network?
Not a one.
Nobody.
No.
This is a
Nobody.
well-rounded show.
You think Emmett Smith, when he's pimping tequila, is going to talk about health,
He wanted to
fitness?
stop the handler.
No,
I
his
know.
handlers are like, oh, I got to
Yeah.
go on this station in Wichita, Kansas. You know,
It's like,
because
who's
we're
the
not
boss?
on the list. And I don't need Emmett Smith on my list. He needs to be on this show. That's how I look at it.
Exactly.
I don't need Emmett Smith. You know who's going to come in? Emmett was good. Michael Irvin.
Can't wait to meet him.
Was he as good as Emmett Smith?
3 in the morning.
Was he as important to the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl greatness
Oh,
as
yeah.
Emmett Smith?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
I only go for the big boys, man, not those little running back dudes. We're coming right back. Stick around. We're live at Radio Row. It's Friday. And we're just getting this party started very quickly. Stick around.
There's only one real place for total sports. That's the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Hello, students. School has begun. The summer is over. I am in command. What was that? For that little outburst, each and every one of you will spend 3 hours in detention today, immediately after school, in the basement. What do you think you're doing? Twisted Sister. What kind of a man desecrates a defenseless textbook? I've got a good mind to slap your fat face. You are destroying your life with that garbage. All right, Mr. Sister. I want you to tell me, no, better yet, stand up and tell the class. What do you want to do with your life? I want to rock. I want to rock. I want to rock. I want to rock. Turn it down, you say, but all I gotta say to you is time and time again to say no.
is this great?
There's only one real place for total sports. That's the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Yes, we're going balls to the wall. What an appropriate song. Whether you're male or female, whatever you identify, if you have balls or if you don't have balls, we're going balls to the wall. And I don't know who came up with that original idea, the first person to say, let's go balls to the wall. Now, Angel Martinez
Where would
is
that
here.
come from, balls to the wall?
Because nobody
Because it
puts their
sounds
balls
painful.
to the wall.
Whatever it is.
Sure don't.
That would hurt, right?
I don't think so. Yeah,
That's one of those slogans that
Here, let
doesn't
me
make
find out.
sense. That doesn't make sense.
No.
It sounds good. Let's go balls to the wall. But if I go balls to the wall, I'm going to get a hernia. I'm going to have a testicular situation straightened out. I'm going to crack my nuts. Nobody wants to have their balls hit the wall.
No, not at all.
Okay. Wow. This is not what I expected.
We have a balls to the wall update
Here's
to
a
explain.
balls to the wall update.
Here's your correspondent, ladies and gentlemen, with the breaking news: a woman who can't go balls to the wall because
No,
she
well, I
has.
could.
Because you
I
know.
actually could because this is the origination of it, and it has nothing to do with what our gutter minds went to. It is the first attested use of it was in the 1960s in the context of aviation.
Aviation?
Yes.
Who goes balls to the walls in aviation?
In reference to ball-shaped grips on aircraft's engine controls.
What?
Typically, the throttle, the prop pitch, and the fuel mixture had like balls at the end of it.
I remember
and so
Sky King had balls on his plane.
if
Remember
you-
Sky King? You got to be old to
if
remember
you
that
push,
shit.
so if you pushed your aviation handle all the way to the wall, you were going balls to the wall.
Oh, now we
Maximum
know.
power.
Now we
Yeah.
know the rest of the story.
There you go.
How about that? See? That's what happens on this show. We talk about something. There's a song. Who did balls to the wall? Who was that, Robin?
Something rock, punk rock, not punk rock. Hold on.
I don't care. I mean, the song sucks. It's just balls to the walls. What we're doing.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I want to bring something back here because you mentioned earlier that after the show's over, I don't have to break anything down, right?
Yep.
So now, remember when the Ricky Henderson used to talk about himself in third person?
Yes.
This would be the first time I ever talk about myself in third person. So the Angel Martinez from Martinez Company doesn't have to do the breakdown, but for the boss, I got to be here because I got to come back and break this down, take it back to the hotel because it's what I do. So I appreciate it, boss, but I got to be here.
You're flying back tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, 12:30.
So we're all on the same flight.
No, but he's going to Tampa, and we're going to.
Oh, that's right. Because Breeze Airways goes to Tampa.
Speaking of which, I got a lovely email text from Breeze. Yes, I did.
They're putting us in first class?
No.
The bester? What is it called? The
No.
better?
But-
nicest? Nicer, and
Nice,
nice.
nicer, nicest.
I like that. Nice, nicer, and nicest.
Here was the lovely text. Hi, this is Breeze. The Super Bowl is happening in Las Vegas on Sunday. February 11th, Super Bowls bring super crowds, and not just on game day. The Harry Reid International Airport has provided some excellent tips for navigating the airport during this exciting week. See your email for more details.
So it wasn't that. I thought they were listening to the show
I
and heard the
know.
pimps. I mean, we paid for our flights. I thought they were going to give us like first class upgrades. No, they don't call it first class. They call it
nicest.
Nicest.
Yeah.
Nicest, nice, nicer, and nice.
Yeah.
And by the way, the seats are well spread out, so there's extra leg room. So nicest is technically first class, and there's 2 seats on each side. Then you go into nicer, there's 2 seats and then 3 seats, but they're spread apart, a little bit more leg room. And then in the back of the plane, that's nice, but you still have more room than in most airplanes because they took the Airbus 220s and then they redid the entire insides. So it's all up to date. The seats, because you're flying 5 hours, you don't want to sit in those rock hard seats that like Spirit and some of the other discount airlines do, with all due respect. Plus, you don't want to get into a brawl if you're flying Spirit because a fight could break out at any moment.
Sure could.
Even before you get on the plane or when you get off the plane. You better be judo. You better know some MMA moves, some jiu-jitsu, some kung fu, any of that stuff. Any of the foos, you got to do it. And your buddy Mike Fuji. Mike Fuji.
Yeah.
You could get the Fujis to come out.
You could.
You could get the Fushnikins to come out. You can get the anyway.
Well, we can bring the power slap lady that was here in the week.
Now you missed that earlier. Did you see that woman?
Yeah.
You got to see the video of her smacking.
Papi. Oh, yeah.
The Hungarian hurricane.
Although she was Hungarian, so it would be, oi, papa.
so that's a big sport now. You got UFC, and then so judo spawned this slapping championship, and they're actually going to they're having a show. Is it tonight or tomorrow night?
I think it's tomorrow
and
night.
It's going to be on free, so it's going to be on Rumble, and so you'll be able to watch it free. Yeah. And I wrote it down, but I can't. I lost my briefcase, so I don't have all my paperwork.
And she said the trick is to stiffen your entire face, grit your teeth, because if you don't, they can KO people.
Oh yeah,
on the first slap.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
And it's not for amateurs to just slap your face like you're in a bar and the chick's hot and you walk up and you bump into her by accident. She turns around and smacks your face. No, this is professional stuff. And the guy who runs it was part of UFC, and he started this operation, and he's got 1,000 people that want to engage in this because it starts with
hand, right?
Yeah, and it starts with judo. So there's a martial art component to this. It's not not just people standing there and smacking each other silly. So, but it's another growing sport, and it comes out of the UFC family, the judo family, because most of these MMA people were either boxers or they were into judo or martial arts, and then they get into MMA.
Well, the great part was, though, so Tony said, we're all going to take pictures. We went taking a break, so she stands up, and Tony says, hey, could you slap me as if you're going to slap me to take the picture?
That's dangerous, Tony.
And I said, but I have a denture, so don't smack me too hard. I don't want my $700 denture flying out across Radio Row, and then I'll be toothless. I just have my microphone thing.
There you go.
But the great part was that as she winds back to give him the phony slap, Tony automatically
I clenched up, yeah.
He clenched.
But then we caught it on video. I think one of our interns caught it on video, so it was a slow motion of her slapping me.
Yeah.
And there's a video of her. She has 8 million views of her actually doing a real slap.
No, she's getting slapped.
Oh, she was getting slapped in the video?
She was the one that was getting slapped.
She's had more views on that slap video than Taylor Swift, the President of the United States, any of the Super Bowl teams.
Yeah.
That's how popular it is. And it's like a 10-second video, and it went viral. And so I said, I want to go viral. Smack the shit out of me right here. I want 10 million views. I want 100 million. Forget about 100 million views. Just give me 1 million views.
That might be worth it,
And then, but then you got all clenched up, and she held back.
I know she did because she's a professional, and so am I. I've actually never been slapped before.
No.
Oh, not even on request.
Robin, is that true?
I swear to God. No, Robin's never.
I've never. Well,
you've wanted to.
A lot of people wanted to, but I've never raised a hand to a woman. That's why I couldn't do it. I could never slap a woman.
No.
No, I know some people, like, we used to joke around on the radio, like somebody would call in, like, from Hernando County in Florida, and I said, is that next to Slapahoe County? Slapahoe, and that's not right, because you can't say that anymore, because that's not politically correct.
That's so true.
But there's so many, Indian names, counties, Hernando, and in Pennsylvania, there's so many, the Native American influence is everywhere in every state. Right?
Yeah.
And so the Slapahoe thing came because we were talking about slap fighting and the slap chop. Remember, Vince from Slap Chop. You'll be slapping your troubles away. Remember?
That was Vince. He also had ShamWow.
ShamWow. All I can say is
ShamWow.
And more importantly, as we were talking about women, if you're just joining us here on Radio Row, live here at the beautiful Mandalay Bay in the convention center, as we used to say, it's a fucking convention in here. As a Latino friend of mine once said.
That's right.
It's a fucking convention. Because the Hispanics say convention, not with the V. They get the B. The V turns into a B, right?
It sounds more sexy.
Am I right?
Definitely.
It's a convention in here, man.
Speaking of Spirit Airlines, I was on a recent flight, and I get on there, and there was police tape on the middle seat.
No way.
Swear to God.
Police tape on an airplane?
I had
and that was the cockpit. That was the cockpit.
Yeah, I had
because they had a couple of drunken pilots, and no, I'm not going to rip Spirit.
No, they're a great airline, but I was like, okay, well, nobody's going to sit in the middle seat, so that's a good thing. But I don't know if my seat's going to actually stay on the plane.
It was in the same row that you were sitting in the police tape?
So I was very happy nobody's going to sit.
How do you know a crime hadn't occurred?
I know. What was on that seat?
I have no idea.
Somebody's
DNA. Yep.
So,
True story.
so we had to send Bisa to the VIP entrance to go escort Bert Kreischer in.
Oh, beautiful.
Because we're the she's so excited. She's like, oh, I'll go.
She's awesome.
And then she goes, oh my God, Rob Riggle just came through the VIP.
Rob Riggle?
She's giving me a play-by-play of who's coming through.
Here's Rob Riggle coming in right now, and he could go all the way. Look at him go, running. He's going to get there. He's to the 10, the 20, the 30. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown. Rob Riggle. By the way,
now, I always get confused. Is Rob Riggle the one who is doing the announcement on the Soaring Over America? Is that a different?
No. That's
See, I get those two confused.
No, Rob Riggle's a comedian.
I know.
He was on Fox. He's been in a million movies.
Yes.
Yep. He replaced John. He replaced our buddy Frank Caliendo
Yes, I know,
on the Fox things doing bits on the pregame shows. And he's been in a lot of movies, but he's not the guy. The guy that does the Soaring Over California.
He's also a comedian.
Yeah,
and
but
an
he's
actor.
he's a great actor because he's got that dry delivery.
Yes.
What the heck's his name now, Robin?
I don't
You have
know.
me thinking too much. You can't
I've been having you do math.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to get through the day, and we got up 3.5 hours sleep, and bam, we're going strong. And now you're asking me to use the very few brain cells that I still
Patrick
have.
Warburton. That's
yeah,
who
Patrick
I'm thinking.
Warburton, and he's done a lot of voiceover work.
For some reason, I get those two
And
confused.
he does the one. He's the one that coached when he's in there with the wine, the official wine of the NFL.
Yeah.
Barefoot. What guys don't want to have a nice glass of barefoot before the game, and they're in the locker room. How about let's get the barefoot wine? Yay! And the guys all stand up. And so he's the voice of Smokey the Bear. You know that?
No.
He's the new voice of Smokey the Bear. So a lot of these actors that you see and you recognize, you may not know their names, but you'll hear their voices. And Patrick Warburton's been in a lot of stuff. Really great actor, and he's got that great delivery, and he does that deadpan stuff really good. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we got a lot of stuff. We told you about the Hall of Fame nominees. Later on today, there'll be another press conference, one of the final ones of the week. And then tomorrow, things start to shut down. The players aren't going to talk to anybody the day before the game. All the award shows have taken place now. Last night, the NFL honors. We got the new Hall of Fame class announced. And even though the NFL puts in more people into their Hall of Fame than like baseball, which if you get one person in there, they're like, oh, see, we got another place. The NFL puts in 6 people this year, and then there are some people saying, well, they should have had more. So they had 2 from the senior committee, Randy Gradishar and Steve Mongo McMichael. They were the 2 senior selections. So like baseball has, if you go through a certain part and you're not eligible anymore to get voted in by the baseball writers, and you still have enough votes, then they go to the Veterans Committee, and then they have them decide whether or not somebody who was overlooked gets put in. And that was the case with Randy McMichael, Steve McMichael, and Randy Gradishar. And now, is he on the phone? So Rick Harrow's on the phone, and he's not physically here on Radio Row? First of all, Rick, thanks for joining us, but are you and Pete Sheppard both sick at the same time in the same hotel?
Well, I figured, I hope not, because I don't want to be near him if he's sick. And I will tell you that if he wasn't there, I'm not there. You and I have a special bond, and I've been carrying Sheppard along for so long that when I heard that you guys were joining forces, it was a no-brainer, pal.
Absolutely. Everything I do is a no-brainer. That's why I'm here, and I've been doing it as long as I can, because you don't really need a brain to do this. You just need a lovely speaking voice and average intelligence. And then you too, Rick Harrow, can be on the air and have your own sports network. But Rick's been around for a long time. Rick Harrow, I like it. It's Harrow Sports. It sounds like a horror, but it's Horrow. And you're in Miami. We're on the West Coast. Do we have an East Coast, West Coast, Florida feud like they did in the rap days? The East Coast rappers against the West Coast rappers. Do we respect each other if you're on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast in the Fort Myers?
Absolutely respect each other.
Okay.
I'll go anywhere for a golf game. So I was playing with your boys from Naples Wealth Planning and Brian Bruno and Rick Calhoun and those guys. And
I know those guys. I know them. Hey, I know them. And they're sitting right here.
We are.
And they're supposed to be working.
Thank you for that love.
By the way, you know that's coming, but this is way before your wake-up time. I didn't think you woke up before noon. Oh, that's right.
We had less sleep. We had less sleep than this gentleman who's coming in here right now, and he's joining us. I saw him the other day. I waved him over, and I said, "You got to come here." The great Bert Kreischer. And he's got flip-flops on in Las Vegas, and he's holding a drink. That's why he's Mr. He's going to replace the great the guy we had on yesterday, Mr. Las Vegas.
Wayne Newton.
Wayne, thank you. Thank you. Wayne, how can you forget Wayne Newton?
I was going Isaac Newton,
So Tony, when I came by to say hi and shake hands, obviously you were busy. But Wayne Newton, who I don't know if the secret is out, but he's well over 110 years old. I don't get it. I mean, he looks so good.
Yes.
The 2 guys sitting next to you and me together, we're combined, and probably you. We're pushing over 200, and we look like 400. So it's like I don't know how he preserved himself. There was this master time machine. I did some stuff for ESPN.com and a few other people in the last few hours talking about memorable sites, and obviously the Kansas City Kelseys Swifties have to be the biggest memory of this event. But close behind is, Tony, Radio Row attracts the weirdest human beings as an amalgamation ever, and it didn't deny this year. It was even bigger. And by the way, the other thing is just another random comment. 8 years ago, 10 years ago, before the 2017 Supreme Court ruling and what's happening now in Vegas, would you have ever believed we walk in hotels and we see slot machines themed with logos of NFL teams? It's unbelievable what the gaming industry has done.
I never thought when I was doing shows here back in the 2000s that I would have my face on the Mandalay Bay marquee outside and all the slot machines, because I was hosting a week of shows when I was at Sporting News Radio. I was there because I was judging the world's most beautiful twins competition. So I'd bring in all these beautiful sets of twins from all over the world, sit them down in the studio, and interview them as a journalist does. You know what I mean? And then so my face is up on the marquee of the Mandalay Bay and on every slot machine inside. I never thought that would happen to me, Rick. So, what happens in Vegas doesn't really stay in Vegas. I think that's all a lie.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'll make you a bet that if there's a wide shot, there weren't too many people looking at the Tony Bruno face versus the Twins face. I can pretty much
Well, the
assure
Twins
you
weren't
that.
up there
And
with
not
me.
just the face.
It was just my face on the marquee and
that's why.
said Tony Bruno broadcasting live all week in the Mandalay Bay in that studio. The one in the back of the book now, and that's legendary because that's one of the few places where they would do. I mean, obviously Caesar's Palace had boxing and MGM Grand, and we'd come here for a lot of fights. But Radio Row here is just at the next level of.
And by the way, one of the things, because our stuff is all kind of business unique stuff, and I share it with Pete every week, and want to do kind of more with you guys. But the bottom line of all of this here is that we have expectedly about 70 million Americans wagering about $23 billion total, and it used to be we'd hide with a little asterisk how much is legal. Well, it's small because it's only Vegas. Now it's everywhere. About 30 million will wager about 1.5 billion legally. That's enough. That's the gross domestic product of Switzerland. That's a huge number, and that's all people are talking about. Look at the prop bets. Look at the is he going to get down on his left knee to propose? His right knee to propose? I mean, how many times will she jump up and down in the box? And what that does, by the way, as we know, is that the NFL has reported a 9% increase in female fans, even female avid fans, who never would have watched anything close to football, Super Bowl or otherwise, before the Kansas City Swifties. And now look at what happened. It's a beautiful country.
We got the great Rick Carl here. And the only person I know who can handle $1 billion, of course, is sitting right next to me, the great Brian Bruno. So when he hears $1 billion, he's like, that's just one of my mid-class. That's one of my mid-level clients.
But by the way, Brian, I just want to tell you with Brian, since he's sitting there and he can't really hit me because I'm here in Vegas, but you don't have to know where.
Be kind, Rick. Be kind.
The guy has cartilage where a lot of us have brain cells. So he hits the ball 280, 290 off the tee. It is huge. And then he looks with that endearing face. It's like, I just kind of lucked into this hit. He is one of the mild-mannered, wonderful athletes of our generation. Wonderful to get to spend time with him. We'll obviously be spending more time with him.
Yeah, I mean, I hear the stories from Pete. I mean, you're out there, and he's getting over a shoulder thing. I haven't had my clubs out in 2 years. I had a shoulder problem, so I'm afraid to go out onto the course with these guys. I'm really afraid.
Well, but
I think that's a setup. I think Tony's going to take our money, Rick.
No, trust me.
I know he is.
What's Pete's new title? Pete's got a new title.
Yeah.
Yes, Pete's title is terrific.
What is it?
Global.
Oh, yeah. But
go ahead. You tell him, Rick.
I forgot. It's a Naples Wealth Planning head of global distribution, and here's why. It's because he hit balls 900 yards left, 900 yards right, and they had the logos on them. So I'm sure even today there will be people at Old Court Crew who have no idea who Naples Wealth is, but are picking up balls 5 fairways off of where they should have been. and we thank Pete for that.
That's global distribution
Yes,
at
it is.
the next
Global
level. You're absolutely right. And he should get a special contract for that.
He should.
I mean, you know, people pick
Yeah,
up a
well,
ball, and they're good balls, right? You're not hitting like
I couldn't put that many balls in my trunk of my car.
You're not hitting X
No,
outs,
this is
right?
David
You're not
Wells
hitting X.
balls.
You're
Hey,
hitting. What are you hitting? Titleist? What balls are you hitting?
Yeah, they were Pro V1s, I think.
Yeah, you
right?
got to hit the Pro V1s.
Yeah. Pro V1s.
No, hey,
We were cringing every time I went into the woods.
You know Brian by now, and you realize he doesn't do anything but first class.
I
so
know.
Of course they're going to be Pro V1.
I'm hitting range balls now just to get started. I'll put a couple range balls I have in my bag, so if it's water, I don't want to hit a title. I don't want to hit a Pro V1 into the water on my first shot. You know what I mean?
It still feels
so I get the range ball, but I paint the white, I spray paint it to get the mark, the circles off of it, so people think I'm using a real ball. You know what I mean?
We got to do some new
By the way, I got a
TBSN.
question for you. I
Yes.
know this is your show, but it's my segment, so I got a question for you. We're in Radio Row, and everybody's looking around. And I know it was because of Wayne Newton, but it's also Tony Bruno. Your booth yesterday was seen and be seen. I mean, not only kudos to Robin and you, but the fact that everybody wants to kind of go and pay homage to the old radio man. And it was really fun to watch you operate. I wasn't able to spend a lot of time with you, but Radio Row was crazy. But everybody was kind of geared up toward the Tony Bruno Network radio booth.
Well, that's because and I really appreciate the kind words, Rick. I've been doing this a long time, and I've been fortunate to work at some of the great companies. I've worked with so many great people in my life, and you can see the mutual respect. You know, they say respect is earned, and I respect the people that are all around me. I respect all the people I've worked with. My ex-bosses come in and talk to me, so I don't burn bridges. I don't, discredit the people I've worked with. Everybody here I get along with, and that's what it's all about. You know, and when people know you and you can grab them and put them on your show, because you see how it is. This is a cluster, and there's so much, Emmett Smith comes by, we're not on the list, and he's pimping vodka first thing in the morning, and I jokingly said, hey, Emmett, open the bottle, let me give some vodka over here. But, they set up in advance, and you don't know who's going to be here as the days go by, so we know the people that are going to be here, and we know, like Michael Irvin, we can get on, and on Lee Steinberg comes on with us every week, so we know that the people who are going to be here, but the biggest thrill is like meeting a Wayne Newton in Las Vegas, meeting Patrick Starfish, and all these other people who are, everybody knows SpongeBob, everybody knows about Nickelodeon, and that's why the NFL is king, because you could put the NFL on anything. You could put them on a test pattern at 2 a.m. and people would watch, and they'd pay to watch a test pattern if it had the NFL logo in it. Sure. So that's how big.
Well, here's the other thing, which is kind of important off of your point. What I was doing a lot for my On the Record show and otherwise was to interview a few of the owners who didn't want to go to Radio Row but wanted to speak about business, and then Peter O'Reilly, who used to be Frank Spovitz used to run it, Jim Steek before that, so all the special events. And we spent a good deal of time talking about the popularity of the NFL, reaching 35 million Brazilians starting Friday Super Bowl or NFL opening weekend next year with the Eagles playing. Nobody knew anything about football, but it's the popularity that there are enough people that like it. The NFL Flag Football Alliance, men's and women's, before the 28 Olympics in LA, and the NFL Alliance there. Germany, Munich, Berlin, obviously England, all of the popularity with the NFL and the youngsters. We were talking about the NFL sticking in their lane. Well, now Friday, Black Friday, as well as opening week Friday, and then because the second weekend in January is always Martin Luther King weekend. You remember when the Steelers-Buffalo first-round game was postponed because of snow? Yep. They found a great move by moving it to Monday afternoon, and he didn't. I pushed him, and he didn't confirm it yet because there will be an announcement. But that's going to be a regular slot, that Monday afternoon leading into Monday night. So imagine this. You got 6 wild card games that first weekend, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, 2 Monday. And who's upset? NBA. They looked for a great day like Martin Luther King Day to be alone. Nope. NFL found it. And, NBA, yes, NFL found it. NBA, that's great, but you've been beaten by a juggernaut.
Yeah, and that's why people were surprised at the trade deadline being on Super Bowl week. And I think the only way that would have overtaken it is if LeBron were traded yesterday. And there were a lot of trades, don't get me wrong. But, that's not going to have a ripple effect like the Super Bowl. Nothing's going to overtake the Super Bowl, other than like the one time in Miami when Kobe Bryant died on the first day of that Super Bowl week. And last night the Lakers honored him with the statue outside of Crypto.com Arena, and then the Lakers proceeded to get boat raced in their own building. But you're right. I mean, it takes something spectacular. Whether it's tragic, and most of the time it's tragic. The Kobe Bryant thing, I mean, that lasted all week. We started on Monday, and we weren't even talking about the Super Bowl. So it takes something of that level, of that tragic or that monumental, to basically overtake the Super Bowl, even for a day or a couple of hours.
Well, but then real quick to interrupt for a second on that theme, Vegas is great because it is the mega town. Formula One, the A's probably coming in, the NBA. Right behind it, the Golden Knights and Final Fours, concerts. Allegiant has a $2 billion economic impact through the Raiders every year. And what does it have? Obviously, the impact that everybody wants to come. So I'm going out to live right now, one of the reasons why I'm not over there, and watch the golf tournament. I know it's not the top priority, but the Live Tour said, look, we're taking the PGA on right now. We're going head-to-head against Waste Management. We may not like it. We may not like it at the end of our ratings day, but we're going to take it on because we're in the big leagues. And how do you prove you're in the big leagues? You go to Vegas.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. And the weather's still chilly here, but they'll play golf. But I heard yesterday, because I haven't been able to see any of it, that the Phoenix Waste Management Open, that the greens were underwater, that they had so much rain there. They had issues yesterday, right? So I don't even know what happened because I haven't looked at all of the sports because we were out late. So did they get the first round in Phoenix?
Yeah, I didn't see. So I was out late and chose not to read. So you're going to have to break that story on your own.
I was out late and was incapable of reading when I got back because I knew I had to be back in here in 3.5 hours. So Angel, can you, because Angel's here, and and Angel's been here every day. I mean, he's here from Jump Street. He's the guy really that has not missed a beat all week long. He's here first thing in the morning, and he goes home at night. Well, he goes to the hotel room. That's home for the week. But we gave you all this stuff. So we have a Phoenix Waste Management Phoenix Open update. Let's go to our correspondent now, Angel, and give you the first round. So they got it in. Did anybody finish? Did they all get the first round in?
It looks like they did the first round. She got Thigala is in first. Taylor.
Any of the big names?
It doesn't look like it. Novak, Vegas.
Well, Shane Lowry's up there.
Yeah, and Jordan Spieth, he's tied for 6.
Jordan Spieth. They only finished. There was a lot of. They were throwing up some numbers like 63, 65 opening round.
Because Vegas, he didn't.
A lot of the guys didn't finish. So obviously the rain played a factor yesterday. And
the rain played a factor. The greens were wet. The scores were lower. But the other thing about this is, it's no longer an elevated tournament this year. So you're going to see on Sunday and Saturday that the leaderboard's not going to have a lot of those guys. A lot of them are sitting it out, and they're all going to head to my neck of the woods and your neck of the woods when they come to Florida and the Cognizant Classic, which used to be the Honda. So, golf is in a state of turbulence, as we know, and part of the issue is how to deal with the Saudi money and what does the PGA Tour do, and we can talk about that eventually. So I got a bone to pick with you. So Steinberg's on regularly. Steinberg and I talk all the time. I'm going to see him tomorrow. I saw him yesterday. So if he's on with you, I need to be on with you.
No, you're welcome to come on anytime. I know you're on with Pete, and you got a great relation. And I've known you forever too, so you're welcome anytime you want to come on, Rick, because I've respected your stuff.
Well,
Lee and I go way back in the time.
Lee goes way, way back with the pterodactyls and with the dinosaurs on the earth. So, that's and I will tell Lee that. I called him Capistrano yesterday because there are very few things in life. It's like the Swallows returning to Capistrano and Lee walking Radio Row on the Thursday before the Super Bowl, and everybody kind of jumping up and around him, and he deserves it, by the way.
Absolutely.
It's a really good thing. But I'd love to be on with you, but my handler is sitting right next to you. I don't do a thing without Brian Bruno giving me permission.
Well, I don't know. You're going to have to go to him because, as you said, a lot of people were coming over, and I didn't put the altar up where, with the cushion altar in the Catholic churches where you don't know, we kneel kneel, and then you you
get up,
you get a little bit genuflect, and I give you the blessing, and then I throw some holy water and incense on you and anoint you, as part of the Radio Row kingdom of the Tony Bruno royal family. You got the new king already having health issues. If I get an offer to go over there, take my crown, and become the new king of England, should I accept that deal, Rick, as a business guy? And Brian, financially, that should be well worth it, right?
Very well worth it. Well worth it. You need to negotiate your dowry, no matter what. You negotiate your dowry, and then Brian will tell you what to do with your money. So the idea is we'll double team it. I will represent you, and I will only take 40%. What? All right, I'll take whatever it is, and then we'll let Brian give you golf lessons and manage your money.
You know how much money the royal family has? The only part of the world that has more money is the Vatican. You got the Vatican and the royal family. Nobody knows how much money they're worth. And that's where I want to be, in that stratosphere, where I don't care if you're getting 40% of my money. Because 40% of my money I could still buy anything I want. I can have the servants, I can have the serfs, I can have different queens. I can have a queen for a day. Remember the old show, A Queen for a Day? I can have a queen for a day.
I will just, Tony, I'll just tell you this, that for someone to take the job as your servant, it's going to take a lot of money.
Well, that's true. We may have to go 30%. Yeah.
30% no matter
Who's another agent?
What's 30% of billions and billions of dollars that the Royals have? That's a lot. Plus I can live in a castle. I don't have to have a condo. There's no HOA fees. I got guards standing in front, at attention at any moment. I've never had that kind of treatment. Well, they don't even have to be good looking. Look at King Charles. He's an ugly guy. I'm not a good looking guy, but I'm better looking than King Charles, right?
Yeah. I think people, in order for Tony Bruno to be successful in a later life, you have to get enough people that fall in love with your wallet, not necessarily your personality, and certainly not your heart.
Exactly right.
That would be my advice to you.
Well, thank
Brian can then manage your money and be a little mundane. This is so interesting because I wanted to kind of, recalibrate, meet the old friends, set stuff up for the future. And we go down memory lane. That's why you're great, because you can talk about any of this stuff, and it is really fun to be with you.
Well, thank you, Rick. Anytime I can drop a Queen for a Day story and then have people old enough to remember the show Queen for a Day, and they get a Maytag washer at the end, and these women acted like they just won $1 billion.
Yeah, hey, look around Radio Row right now and see how many people you think would get that reference. Maybe 5 or 6 people are like over 30.
And that Maytag washer's still working.
Yeah, the Maytag man is still working. And that's
Yes,
something.
he is.
And it's a different guy because they have to move on.
Sure.
But the new Maytag man is not. The original Maytag guy was the greatest. But now the guy sits underneath inside the washer, which they couldn't do before.
Yeah, but remember, it's a great tagline. You know what his tagline is now? The loneliest man in the world. Because in theory, it doesn't break down. You don't have to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
What a great story. It's amazing.
Well, Rick,
how did
Brian? We have to go to a break now. But last point. Go ahead. No, because Robin's the one who's telling me to wrap it up because we got to go to a break because we have Bert Kreischer locked in at 9 a.m. and we
have to go to break and I have to reset. So I need to. Otherwise, we're going to lose him. So
all right,
Robin, I'll tell you what. We'll do this whenever you guys want to.
Yes,
and Brian,
we will do this on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Even though you live in Miami, you're always welcome on the show.
Deal. I may be in your face. We may have some conversations down the road.
All right, man.
Beautiful.
The great Rick Caro Sports Ventures, he's one of the legendary guys in this business when you talk about guys who know everybody and everything about sports and the business side of it as well. We're coming back. You know what's coming on? The great Bert Kreischer in the flesh. The Machine. Next here on Radio Row. Super Bowl 58, Tony Bruno and the whole gang here live at the Mandalay Bay.
You're listening to Tony Bruno Sports Network. Tony didn't invent sports radio. He perfected it.